And this is the ability of the NFL, with all the money, to try to come up with something that maybe others cannot. Do NFL players care about facilities or stadiums? We're going to get to that a little bit later on the show. For the franchise tag, questions come into play as we head to the deadline with Yannick Ngakoue and other players around the NFL. Kingfish Tournament Week. Tiger Woods is back. Oh, we got a lot to get to here on a Monday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau once again from Hoover, Alabama. I've got the window down in the car doing the show, watching a baseball game. That's the setting here where the SEC lives, where the SEC is meeting today with athletic directors to try to figure out what's going to go on in the fall. Meanwhile, Action Sports Jacks Studios presents Austin Lane and Coos. What's happening, man? Hope you had a good weekend.
I had a great weekend, man. You couldn't get some kind of like VIP credential to go to that SEC meeting for us?
I tried like heck. I couldn't do it. Well, it's a secretive meeting so far, but we're right around the corner from it. So if anything does happen, I've got my ears up, ready to go to work for ESPN 690 and CBS 47 and Fox 30. But I'm literally like a driver away from where they play the SEC Baseball Championship. Of course, did not this year because of COVID-19. But that is happening right here in Hoover, Alabama. We got a baseball game as well. Appreciate you guys back there while we watch one of the final tournaments for the kids this week. And I'll be ducking out early. Ty's on the bump today, man. He's got the mound here on a Monday.
How's he feeling? Nervous, anxious, excited? What are we talking about here?
I will tell you this. I do not know how other parents feel. I don't know how well you think you know your kids. I don't know how well you think you know Ronan. I cannot read Ty at all. He doesn't say much. He doesn't look like he has a pulse half the time. He's might be full of butterflies and nerves and just doesn't show it. But he does like to pitch, and he's not really a pitcher by trade, but he's been doing a pretty good job. And they got to win a game, though. No doubt it's kind of must-win territory these next few days to get to the bracket. But he'll be on the bump. He had a big breakfast, I'll tell you that. Went to IHOP.
Okay.
And I should share this picture of the breakfast he ate. This omelet was massive. It might have weighed as much as Ty, and then some chocolate chip pancakes. So he ate most of it. So he should have a full belly at least. Maybe it'll get him up to like 65 miles an hour.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure that's going to go down nicely in the 90-plus degree heat on a nice summer's day.
That's
10,000 calories. I guess if it's 4 hours gone.
I'll tell you that. Went to IHOP. Listen, man.
Okay.
When you're 90 pounds, you need the fuel. Got to get the fuel. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, we might break the radar gun today after that breakfast, maybe get up to 65 miles an hour. We'll see what happens and if they can handle it. By the way, huge day here at Cox Media Group at all of our stations, and a big salute to Rich Jones from WOKB 104.5. Of course, you know him, and he leads the charge on this, but it's a station initiative, even helping out on the TV side as well, and we're going to help out not only today but all week long, and we'd love for you to help out and help out the kids, supporting the Child Cancer Fund. It is Care-A-Thon once again. They're off to a great start here on a Monday. You can be a part of it. You can help us out all week long. And just text the word FOREVER to 41444, and we will continue to give details. The word FOREVER to 41444 all week long. You can make donations. You can bid on silent auction items. And it's going to be a big week to help out the kids from Child Cancer Fund. Austin will share some stories. As an athlete, you can really make an impact on kids and families and bring a smile to a kid's face in a tough time. And anyone that knows kids that have had to deal with cancer, families that had to deal with cancer, it's such a tough thing. So Care-A-Thon goes a long way to help those families. And those smiles mean a big thing, and helping out with the payments also mean a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, having played for the Jaguars for a couple of years, we worked with Ronald McDonald House, and I got to meet a bunch of great kids. We took visits to the Children's Hospital here in Jacksonville as well. Met a special girl by the name of Ellie, and she was battling her own issues with cancer and everything like that. Proud to report that she's okay today. But it's just it really put things in perspective for me, whether it's at the Ronald McDonald House or the Children's Hospital. Just like, when you're fresh on the scene in Jacksonville and you're complaining about, going through two-a-days and stuff and the heat, but then you see what these kids go through on a daily basis, but not only the kids, but also their families, man. It definitely put things in perspective for me of just, how blessed that I was to obviously being able to play football, number one, but also kind of share these memories with some of these kids here and just trying to brighten their days a little bit. So obviously it's not just the kids that get affected, but it's also the families, that have to put their kind of work aside and things like that to try to make sure that they're there for their children as well. So it affects everybody.
Yeah, I want you to share a little bit more of that and more of the role of current Jags players, athletes all over, and how much that helps and what you've seen. You've been a part of it. So a little bit later on the show, as we continue to talk about Care-A-Thon 2020 presented by Duval Asphalt, you can share some of those thoughts, and you can really make a difference in the life of a child and a family battling cancer. So the website's childcancerfund.org. Again, text the word FOREVER to 41444 and be a part of it. Also, you go to carathon20.givesmart.com. We'll give out a lot of this information if you're not catching it on the first go-around. Or even just go to espn690.com and you can click the Care-A-Thon story for the online auction. And we'll go over some of the online auction items as well. Rich Jones is going to join us in a little bit to talk more about that. So we will continue to do our part to help the kids and the families battling cancer in the Jacksonville area and the Child Cancer Fund. So I think it's a great cause. It's a lot of good people doing a great thing this week. So hopefully you can be a part of it. Let's talk some sports, man. This Shield, did you see that? By the way, I forgot to mention in the lead there, Russell Westbrook testing positive COVID-19. We'll talk about that. Does it matter now that some of these big star players are getting it? Does that make a difference in anybody's mind? So we'll talk a little bit about Russell Westbrook, who obviously has been a story this afternoon. But I wanted to start with the Shield a little bit. The NFL is coming up with basically, the shield that we've seen on a helmet. Some players have worn them, like the visors. Sure. And the hope is that does something from a comfortability standpoint, but also a protection standpoint for the player. So do you think this will be a thing?
No.
Do you think this is something that people will buy into? I mean, J.J. Watt's been pretty adamant that, hey, I can't play with that. I can't play with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that? Would you have worn something like this as a player?
Absolutely not. No, there is no way that you're going to put that shield thing across my mouth if I'm playing a football game. Now listen, I don't want to come across as, well, that's kind of a sense of entitlement right now, but you have to understand how football helmets are really set up here, right? Where, there's a lot of guys that wear the visor across, and that's fine. But anytime that you cover, like, the mouth portion, it's going to affect you as a player. Like, listen, there's a reason why predominantly a lot of guys, especially when I played on the defensive line, chose not to wear a mouth guard, and I was one of them. The last time I ever wore a mouth guard playing football was in high school. I didn't wear one in college. I didn't wear one in the pros. Now, I understand that, that the use of a mouth guard obviously protects your teeth, number one, but it can help you with concussions, number two. That's fine. I could breathe better without a mouth guard than I could wearing it. And at the end of the day, that was kind of like the competitive advantage that I wanted to add to myself, okay? Because when you're on a 8, 9, 10 play drive and you're sucking wind, man, the last thing that you want to do is have to worry about your breathing get affected. And I feel like with this mask that goes across your mouth, at least the way I think it was Oakley who's making these things presented it, I think it's going to be met with a lot of criticism and a lot of blowback from the players.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let me ask you something about the mouthpiece first, because to me that kind of sounds like, and I don't know, you know the equivalent, is that kind of like not wearing a cup in baseball? I mean, you kind of at your own risk type of thing. I mean, a lot of guys get knocked in the mouth with a lot of jaws and teeth, and I mean, they made some, I think, not only the concussion standpoint, but it kind of had other impact. Like, it helped other things, some of the mouthpieces they've come up with in the last 15 or 20 years. But is it equivalent to that? Like, hey, protect yourself at your own risk. In baseball, obviously, if you don't wear a cup, well, you're opening yourself up to, ouch.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, in terms of, like how the athletic trainers and everybody feels about it, I mean, listen, mouth guards have come a long way, I mean, in the past 20 years or so, right? So, I mean, they're obviously fitted to your, to your exact specifications. So, they're comfortable and everything, but at the same time, it's harder to breathe in with a mouth guard than it's not to have one. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know what the percentage of guys now that wear them to don't wear them, but I'm just speaking from my perspective and my teammates' perspective that I played with. Couldn't stand wearing them, and we accepted the risks, and everyone kind of knew about that. I mean, to be fair, there was one point at Murray State where I played without one, where at night I could kind of like feel like the nerves, and this is gonna be kind of graphic a little bit, but I could feel like the nerves in my teeth kind of like getting jolted and dying out a little bit. So like at night, I'd be laying there with like my teeth just aching, and I'd actually have to like bite like a wooden spoon, or like I have to bite like my pillowcase to try to ease some of the pain a little bit. So it felt like I was teething again, kind of like I was a baby, man. So I had to do that for a couple weeks, but then the pain obviously went away. But that's kind of the risk that you accept, obviously. But my big point is, obviously, it's the breathing factor. And I feel like if you put a mask over your mouth like that, whether it's plastic, vented, you name it, I feel like that's going to be more of an issue. I mean, even in hockey, even in hockey growing up, you had two options. You wore the plastic cage on your helmet, or you wore the steel metal cage, which you kind of see in college hockey a little more. Well, a lot of guys in college wear that steel metal cage just because obviously it's easier to breathe than having that plastic there. Now, when you get to the NHL, I mean, if you wear a mask or if you wear like a face covering, you're kind of considered, weak, so no one really does it. But I mean, it's the little things, Brent. When you're trying to make a team, or you're trying to be an all-pro, or you're trying to make a play, not being fatigued is a big reason why. So that's why I'm so against, I think it was Oakley, like I said, bringing out this mask thing.
Let me ask you this, though, real quick. One last thought on it. I mean, there's not too much to dive into here. I just think it's interesting. And at least if there are some players super concerned about it, maybe someone that would try it out. I mean, it's just an option. Doesn't look like it's going – I don't think yet it will be a mandatory thing. I think they're going to try it out. They're going to give it to some players and player reps. Now, it's one thing if they make it absolutely mandatory. But if it's an optional thing to wear, is that a big difference? It may ease the mind or give some players a peace of mind. What it's supposed to do is protect against droplets of transmission, if that makes any sense. And so, they're just looking at a little saliva or spit or whatever being transmitted, in contact, that this could prevent and maybe prevent the passing of COVID-19. But if it's an optional thing, I mean, nothing wrong with that, wouldn't there be?
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it being optional, but then you have to think about it where you have to ask yourself what the goal is here. I mean, if you're trying to stop the spread of COVID-19, well, it doesn't really make sense to make it optional, because then I feel like the amount of players who would actually wear it are probably going to be few and far between. If you make it mandatory and say, hey, this is going to be our step in trying to keep everybody safe and try to prevent everybody from getting COVID-19, well, now obviously everyone's got to wear it, but you're probably going to get a lot more blowback because now it's not an option anymore. I mean, I'm not sure what the right answer is per se. I'm just saying, from what I know about NFL players and how they operate, they're not going to want something covering their mouths like that, at least most of them. Now, maybe if you're a skill position, maybe if you're like a third down running back, punters, kickers, long snappers, like them, like where you don't have to really rely on maybe a 10 or 12 play drive, I can see that. But I'm talking about for the guys in the trenches and even linebackers, I think it's kind of a different thing for them, because once you get into that 8th, 9th, 10th play of the drive, you're going to be fatigued and tired, and you want every advantage you can get.
Yeah, it makes some sense coming from a guy who played the game, and I think that will probably be received in a similar fashion, not just from you or J.J. Watt, but from a lot of players across the NFL. But it is a recent development. They're trying to use technology, trying to use science, trying to get the games played, as we are 2 weeks away from the opening of training camp, 2 weeks away from the opening of high school football, perhaps. There is an emergency meeting next Monday, from what I'm hearing, so that could change the start date. Nothing official, but we'll see in a week when it comes to high school football what could happen with the high school football season. And again, up here in Hoover, Alabama, the SEC athletic directors are getting together and trying to figure things out. We should hear from Scott Strickland, the Florida Gators AD, tomorrow. He's going to meet with them, so maybe he'll have some updated information on what the plan is with the college football season, especially in the SEC. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk more Jags. I want to do something we haven't really done in quite a bit, and maybe not all in this offseason. Talk a little bit about the AFC South. Just a couple of quick thoughts. Who do you think is going to win the division? And what major surprises might we see in the division? Just some thoughts on that. I want to remind you, Care-A-Thon 2020 is underway. childcancerfund.org. You can go to ESPN690.com for more information. You can text the word forever to 41444 to donate. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging with us here on a Monday.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny skies today, and it will be hot and humid with highs into the mid-90s with an isolated afternoon shower and thunderstorm. A few of those showers can linger into tonight, but otherwise mostly clear with temperatures in the mid-70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjak.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale, July 16th to the 19th.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Thinking of a new ride? Waiting for a sale? Well, if I got great news for you, because this isn't just any sale. No. This is big. It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. During the Big One sales event at Arlington, you can get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. No one does the Big One deal like that. And at Arlington Toyota right now, they're giving you no payments until 2021 on your new Toyota purchase. That's right. You make 0 payments until 2021 on your new Toyota. And with every new vehicle purchased from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. The Big One sale just keeps getting bigger, and it's happening right now at Arlington Toyota. Shop them in person safely at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Big One sale for full details.
The global coronavirus outbreak is stretching the coping capacity of even the best prepared countries. Yet the world has barely begun to come to grips with how coronavirus threatens the world's poorest communities. Send a care package at carepackage.org to those who need it most. These care packages will ensure hygiene supplies, hand washing stations, and drinkable water gets to people most in need. Visit carepackage.org to send a care package today.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
There's a lot going on in your life these days. You can take care of a lot of it, but if you have some tax issues, let J. David Tax Law help you out. They are the experts, and they will take care of you. Amidst the coronavirus, the IRS and Florida tax agencies are back to work aggressively collecting on outstanding tax debts. The federal government and the state of Florida need tax revenue now more than ever. The stimulus packages and relief programs that helped so many Americans need to be funded. To get the best tax debt settlement possible, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop tax collection action is a no-cost phone consultation that can be done from the safety of your home. J. David Tax Law has systems in place to resolve your tax problems, and you don't have to come into their office if you don't want to. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777. Peace of mind, only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from safe touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
We have bigger rolls of carpet, hardwood too, laminates, hot area rugs for you. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Our prices are low, 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 low.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Don't delay, we'll put it in next day.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man. Y'all them sees now, you hear? At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Visit one of our mega flooring stores or go to carpetman.biz or
call 838-6705, the Carpet Man.
There's a new, modern, patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge. We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody, here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging with us. Brent Martineau here in Hoover, Alabama on the road, watching a little baseball and doing a little radio. Love to be with you. Thanks for being with us. Austin Lane, Coos, back in the Action Sports Jacks studios. And it's a special day at Cox Media Group. We're going to get to it in a moment. We're also going to get to some topics around the AFC South. Who do you think will win the AFC South? And also, what are some surprises that could happen in the AFC South? I have some thoughts on that. But before we do that, it's Care-A-Thon 2020, and the guy in charge of it all, leading the charge for Cox Media Group and all our cluster of radio stations, including 104.5 WOKV and here on ESPN 690. It's Rich Jones. You listen to him in the morning, of course, and now you're listening to him right now on ESPN 690. Rich, what's happening, man?
Hey, Brent, Austin, and Coos, how you guys doing? I was listening driving over here, and I love the story that Austin told about that young girl that he met, and she made an impact on him. Those are the things that fuel us every single year with Care-A-Thon. Austin, I'm 1,000% with you. I think of so many kids that we've met through the years, and I tell you, to hear and to see their stories of survival, how they have done, it motivates us year after year, and that's why we were so proud to celebrate that we've raised $1 million year to date since 2015 to just this morning, but we need more help for kids and families in Northeast Florida.
Incredible. Awesome. Good for you. Good work. And listen, here's one of the deals that I love about what we're able to do. I've been wanting to do this since I was 12 years old, and one of the cool things about it is it gives us a platform to help give back to the community, to help raise funds for kids like this and families like this that need the help, and the Child Cancer Fund, super organizations that help out the community. Austin obviously played football. He's a professional athlete. What a platform to be able to give back. But Rich, give us your story a little bit and your connection to the Child Cancer Fund. Why does it mean so much to you? Why have you spearheaded this the way you have? And congratulations on the big milestone this morning.
Well, thank you for that, first of all. Secondly, I think it's because it's so local and because the Child Cancer Fund is unique in that it is essentially operated by families who have been in the fight. There is one paid staff member, the executive director, Carla Montgomery, whose son Graham is a cancer survivor. He's thriving. He's doing well. He's off at school, and he's got a great future ahead of him. And there's one person, but behind her are dozens and dozens and dozens of volunteers, people who have been in the fight, whose children have made it through, in some cases, who haven't made it, sadly. And while the survival rate from pediatric cancer is in the neighborhood of 80%, certainly there is a percentage that don't make it. And yet these families continue to give and work to pay it forward. So when we were connected in 2014, early 2015 with this local organization, I thought, well, what better way to be able to really put skin in the game and say, this is as direct as it gets. And it is not to say that the other charities that are in our community, the other healthcare institutions are not critically important. The research that's done at the Mayo Clinic, the work that's being done at the Proton Institute at UF Health Jacksonville, the level of care that pediatric cancer patients get at both Wolfson and Nemours Children's Specialty Care, and even the J Fund, with the NFL backing and Tom and everyone else from the Coughlin family on down. The Child Cancer Fund is this organization that really has surrounded the family with financial assistance when they need it most. So I'm sitting here at the pediatrician's office. My son has an ear infection. I'm going to take him in, and I kind of have this weird, helpless feeling of I hope he's not in pain anymore. Thankfully, we can afford this treatment and we can afford our bill. But I tell you, when a kid is in the cancer fight and having to go to clinic every week and having to go through chemotherapy, one of the spouses, usually when a cancer diagnosis comes for a child, has to stop working because they have to take the child to treatment so often. Kids then fall behind in school and they need tutoring. It's an organization that keeps the family together, and it's your financial contributions, from gas cards to gift cards, to helping with grocery, to helping with other medical bills and other needs that come, to paying the mortgage, to keeping their JEA bill on if they're starting to fall behind. That, to me, really solidified it of why I know that this is going to make a big difference to people, because it's as local as it gets. This is essentially making a donation and handing out money to someone who is desperately in need. And you now have an organization that is making that connection, because they're taking the phone call. Every year in our community, guys, about 115 families get a pediatric cancer diagnosis. And it's not a 6-month thing usually. It's usually a multiple-year journey for these families. And so the need for financial assistance continues to compound year after year after year. I could go on forever. In 5 years of doing this with Care-A-Thon, I've been touched so much by the level of support that the families who have been in the fight, and again, have won in most part, but in some cases have not won and not been successful, they still donate their time, effort, and talents to the Child Cancer Fund, because the impact that this organization made when they needed it most.
Austin, I want you to jump in here in a moment, but let me just reset things. You can text FOREVER to 41444 to help. Also, childcancerfund.org. Plenty of information about silent auction items and how you can help at ESPN690.com. Rich Jones from 104.5 WOKV here with us, spearheading Care-A-Thon 2020 like he's done since 2015. Austin, it's an awesome cause.
Yeah, man, and listen, I shared a little bit of this story, and what I love about this cause right here is the fact that, I mean, obviously it's going to help the treatment out as well, but it's going to help the families. And I think if I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, but also it's going to, some of the money is going to go towards textbook for helping educate the patients, right? I mean, obviously they're not in school right now, but they're going to buy textbooks, so they're still learning. There's going to be tutors there. So it just, your money can go so far, and just in terms of helping out, you know, a kid. It helps out the family. It helps out a lot of things. And yeah, Brent, you know, I shared this story a little bit of meeting Ellie in the hospital, and you know, it really touched me, obviously, and this is why I'm obviously campaigning for this. I'm sharing it out, and hopefully everybody sees it. But it's just, it really puts things in perspective, you know? And if you think you have it good, that's fantastic. Why not help out a less fortunate family and kind of have their back as well right now, especially, with the landscape of COVID-19 and everything like that.
Yeah,
well, and you consider
well
COVID-19, guys. I mean, this is a time when families are really worried about the potential that their children who already are autoimmune compromised, who are already in the fight and already are at a point where they're most vulnerable. Now you add to that a pandemic and the potential impacts there. Now you're worried about PPE equipment, and you have to have Clorox wipes, you have to have liquid alcohol, you need to have all these things on top of all of the other stuff that you need to have to get your kid to and from treatment safely and healthy. And every single day that those costs add up. Think about this. There are families that drive from Southeast Georgia to Nemours Children's Specialty Care. You're on the road right now, Brent. It probably took you, 2 tanks of gas, maybe a tank and a half to get there and back. That's a bit of a haul, but imagine once a week for an entire year how many thousands of dollars in bills that you're going to have from lunch and dinner, the gas that piles up, and then eventually you're going to catch up on groceries. That's where your donation to the Child Cancer Fund and the Care-A-Thon can help to keep the families together during those really, really rough moments when they don't know where else to turn.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps for the Child Cancer Fund, and it's Care-A-Thon 2020. Rich Jones hanging with us. Let me just keep you one more minute here, Rich, and we'll continue to spread the word. And this isn't just a one-day thing. It's an all-week thing. But you guys have been challenged in putting this together. This is different this year, right, with COVID-19. How has it changed, and how impressed are you with everything that's coming together to still make an impact, even though you can't do so many things that you normally would do in person?
Well, because every dollar counts, I'm really proud to say that we're already more than $125,000 thankful, because that's $125,000 that's going to go toward helping families. So we're already 125,000 steps ahead of where we were just yesterday. So first of all, to Northeast Florida, thank you. And know that no amount is too small. There are big numbers that are thrown around in events like, hey, so-and-so donated $1,000. $10 can make a huge difference. And consider this. If you challenge all of your coworkers, we're on Zoom meetings and Microsoft Teams meetings multiple times during the week. How about get a little action going and challenge each other at work? Everyone pitch in $10 this week. And as opposed to the lottery pool Friday, imagine how many hundreds of dollars could be raised for local families by just giving up a couple of Starbucks coffees this week, and you can make that difference. The biggest change, Brent, honestly, is the hardest one for me, which is not being able to engage with the families. Historically, we're broadcasting live from Nemours over the course of 13 hours in a day. We hear the stories. We see families who are coming in for treatment. We see the worry on their face as they go in. We see the kids laughing and giggling on the way out because they had a good experience. Surprisingly enough, it's actually a good experience because of the child life specialist, Miss Jolly, who makes the world much better for these kids. Her salary is paid for completely through donations to the Child Cancer Fund. I miss that. We've had to reboot our plan, and we've taken it more to a virtual platform, which is why we're here on all the Cox Media Group stations. We're throwing all resources into it for an entire week because we know that we can do a lot collectively with all of us telling these stories over and over again. But that's the biggest change, is we just can't be there with the kids and the families and the caregivers. I miss that. We're still sharing their stories every morning on WOKV, and we're trying to share them on ESPN690.com and through forums like this. It's just not the same as being there, the energy that you feel from the kids, but hopefully we're able to encapsulate just a little bit of that energy and try to do everything we can to help these families out. Again, guys, no amount is too small. $10 can go a really, really long way.
Well, let's provide a little energy for it. I'm going to, on behalf of ESPN 690 Action Sports Jacks, we're going to make a $250 donation with Rich here on the line because he does such a fantastic job with it to Child Cancer Fund. And we challenge everybody to donate. It doesn't have to be $250. It could be $10, $25, $50, whatever you want. But make sure you go to childcancerfund.org. Text the word forever to 41444. Again, easy information on ESPN690.com. They have awesome silent auction items. We'll talk about those throughout the rest of the day and the week. But 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt. We're going to try to do our part, $250 toward the Child Cancer Fund, and a challenge to all our listeners and viewers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and Twitch, and more to jump in the conversation and whatever you can do. Whether, again, it's $10, $100, please help make a donation, and we'll try to get that ball rolling even further down the road than it already is. Rich, keep up the good work, man. We'll spread the word all week long, and can't wait to see where this thing lands from a dollars raised total later in the week.
We appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for your support.
You got it.
Thanks,
Rich Jones from 104.5 WOKV. It's awesome to be able to give back and help out and use the platforms, and we appreciate all our listeners and viewers jumping in on it as well, even just to hear the story. If you can't donate, that's okay. We know where your heart is. We appreciate you listening to Rich and how you can help. And if you can help, we appreciate if you did. Again, ESPN690.com for more info. Text the word forever to 41444. That might be the easiest way to donate here today and the rest of the week. All right, Austin Lane, here's the deal.
Yep.
They never start games early. They started this one early. We're already in the first inning here.
So does that mean you have to go a little early here? You're going to call an audible?
I'm going to here's the deal. I'm going to call an audible. I'm going to go a little early.
Okay.
We hope the game gets over quick and Ty makes quick work of these guys.
Absolutely.
And then I can come bounce back in on the show at the tail end. I didn't know if I'd be able to do that, but I might be able to now that they started a good 25 minutes early.
All right, man. Well, we're going to be holding it down for you here. And if you come back, we'll be here. Hopefully, we don't get shut down by the FCC. I don't say something too stupid. So expect us to be on by the time you get back.
It might be the last time you say it, but they can't shut the show down that quick, I don't
Good
think.
to
Maybe
know.
Kuz can.
Good to know, then.
Hey, by the way, also, when we come back here, we'll talk a little bit about the AFC South. I want to give one thought on the AFC South. This is where I was going with it. I think Indianapolis is the team to beat because I believe Phillip Rivers is going to bounce back. That's my big thought on the AFC South. If he doesn't, then I think they're pretty average. But if he's good and he's motivated, he's got a chip, and he's got Jonathan Taylor behind him now and that offensive line, and they take a little pressure off him, I think Phillip Rivers bounces back. And I told you months ago I have him as a Super Bowl team, actually.
Yeah.
Bit of a surprise pick, but that's all based on Rivers playing well. My other surprise in the division is I really think Houston falls apart. I think they're a little older on defense. I don't think things work well. I just think they're disconnected. They seem like it. They're disjointed from the entire offseason of Bill O'Brien to everything else. I don't think Bill O'Brien makes it through the season. I think they actually finish in last place in the AFC South. The Jaguars finish ahead of them, and it's going to be a bad season for the Houston Texans. So those are my two big-time predictions of the AFC South. When we come back, I want to hear yours and get you talking a little bit about the AFC South, but you got it from here. A lot to get to. The franchise tag, facilities in general, any news that breaks, Russell Westbrook with COVID-19, and a little review from UFC 251. Want to get your thoughts on that, too. I'll be back with you a little bit later on. You take it from here, Austin Lane.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
On Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I want everybody to think of a number between 1 and 10.
4.
Okay, shouldn't have said it. Now I want everyone to multiply that number by 2. Now I want you to add 6. The number you currently have in your head is 3.
I totally thought we were ending this show with you going, wait a minute, my number's 5 because you did the math trick all wrong.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt continues on ESPN 690. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Care-A-Thon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
You don't want just any old sale. You want the biggest sale with the biggest savings ever, right? Then you need to see my friends at Arlington Toyota today, because they're having the one big-time sales event. Want low payments and zero down? Then get to Arlington now, because during the big-time sale, they have over 100 quality pre-owned cars you can buy at zero down and $199 a month. That's no money down and $199 a month for over 100 pre-owned vehicles. How about choosing from 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs that you can buy at 0 down and just $269 a month? That's no money down and $269 a month with over 50 pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everybody approved. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy for total peace of mind. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. What are you waiting for? It's the one big-time sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big-time sale for full details.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida?
Nah, it's illegal here. 20 grams or less is a misdemeanor, and more than 20 grams is a felony.
Well, I have epilepsy. Should I try to get a medical marijuana prescription?
Now that's legal, but talk to your doctor first to see if it's a qualifying condition and if medical marijuana is even right for you.
I will, thanks.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wondering what CBD is and if it's right for you? Come in and talk with the professionals at iHeart CBD, located at 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. iHeart CBD is Jacksonville's premier CBD state. Hemp-derived, certified organic, and tested in-house and through a third party. Products include pain creams and hemp flower. No medical card required. Join the many Jacksonville residents who are finding major relief with iHeart CBD. 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. Or call 904-619-9274.
From First Take to your radio.
Here's the reason you gotta be worried. Do we really think that the recreational activities are going to be compromised for 3 months? I mean, somebody's got to say it. You in Orlando for the first month, you got to be alone. Forget 3 months. They gonna struggle with 3 weeks. Why you think they won in Vegas?
First Take, your take from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
American Airlines wants its middle seat back, Stugat.
I mean, they're ready to start cramming us back into airplanes already, while spikes everywhere in the South?
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. Come on, your middle seat is an injustice of the highest order under all circumstances.
I'm telling you right now, I board a flight, someone's sitting in the middle seat, I'm leaving the flight, okay?
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey everybody, it's Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I'm Kevin Rahm, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
Most teams are expected to report to training camp July 28th. There's an increasingly pessimistic tone that I've heard around the league about whether or not that will actually happen. There are a lot of challenges ahead for the NFL and the NFL Players Association to make that reporting date happen. We all want to see it happen, but again, there's testing to figure out, there's protocols to figure out, and of course there are the financial ramifications to figure out. There's a lot of work to be done between now and then to make the start of training camp later this month a reality that right now looks like it's going to be increasingly challenging to get done.
Adam Schefter telling it like it is in terms of will training camp be started on time, or will there be a delay, kind of like it seems like every sport has had a little bit this year? Time will tell. And obviously all we have to go off of is what we read in the headlines. It's what we hear from the experts. And there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, all while the fact that, we're still living in the middle of a pandemic right now. All the fact that we're talking about 90 guys from player perspectives that are on a roster, then include the training staff, the coaches as well. How are they going to make it work? We'll see. Listen, I think if you're the NFL right now, you still have the advantage, and then from the standpoint of you're still essentially starting out fresh. Yes, the draft looked a little different this past year. I get that. But right now, everyone's expecting, all right, well, we still got the NFL season. We still have the NFL season. We still have the NFL season. And obviously, with reports coming out on college campuses, on college football teams, people are starting to get hip to the game where it's like, well, maybe there's not going to be a football season. But I think in terms of the NFL, and take college out of it for a second, NFL, they canceled the Hall of Fame game. That's fine. The Hall of Fame game, I think, was last year, got canceled due to the fact that the surface they were playing on was just not up to standards. All right, so it's not the first time in the NFL's history where the Hall of Fame game has been canceled. So as far as a red flag, we can go and call it a little bit. But I think overall right now, all signs point to they're going to start on time. And I think if you're Roger Goodell, I think if you're the money-making machine that is the NFL, you have to focus on making sure everything starts on time, because it kind of shows that, you know what? Yes, it's crazy right now in the world. Yes, it's crazy right now with the landscape of COVID-19, but we got it under control. We have the necessary protocols. Everybody remain calm. I think in order to keep everybody calm and optimistic, you have to start on time. So it'll be curious here in the next couple weeks or so, will we get ramped up if there's going to be a delay or not. Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax here on ESPN 690. My co-host Brent Martineau right now in Hoover, Alabama, watching his son Ty hopefully pitch nothing but a gem in terms of some Little League baseball action here. Hopefully Brent will be back on later on in the show. The game was supposed to start at 4, I think. The game started early for whatever reason. That's crazy, but I'm taking over for a while until Brent comes back. Kind of like that Nick Foles situation last year against Kansas City. Foles goes down, next man up. Not saying I'm Gardner Minshew, but I'm saying that I'm not Gardner Minshew at the same time, so we're going to be okay. Before Brent left, he kind of left us with a little bit of a thought here. Who is your favorite to win the AFC South Division? All right, the mighty AFC South Division. Brent Martineau went with Indianapolis Colts, which I think is probably the favorite right now in terms of experts, in terms of analysis, to say, well, you know what? Colts are always pretty solid. They have Phillip Rivers. He's been the Jaguars killer. He's been an AFC South killer. So one would think that the Colts would be the favorites. And you know what? I'm not sure what the odds are at right now in Vegas and everything, but I think the Colts should be the favorites. I think from a talent perspective, I think from a coaching perspective, and obviously you're talking about one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in all of football. Okay, people want to say, well, people want to say Phillip Rivers last year, what did he do? He had all these weapons. He had Keenan Allen. He had Mike Williams. He had Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon, and he couldn't get it done. That's true. But remember, who do you have blocking for him? Okay, because Phillip Rivers is a lot of things, and he might be the illegitimate father of Josh Allen. We'll get to that later. They look exactly alike. I'm going to say it till the cows come home. But in terms of Phillip Rivers, the guy is not mobile, okay? And listen, He'll be the first one to tell you that. So if you can't buy Philip Rivers time in the pocket, he's not going to do anything for you, okay? When we talk about the Indianapolis Colts, you can put Jacoby Brissett back there, all right? You could put Justin Kuzart back there, our producer, as far as I'm concerned. The point that I'm trying to make here, Kuz, is you're going to have time to throw the football. Now, what you do with that time from your arm, I don't know what you got in the tank. But I'm just saying,
interceptions for
But
days.
I'm just going to say, you're going to have time to do something, okay?
I have so much time to throw an interception.
And that's what Philip Rivers has there in Indianapolis. So I'm not mad at it, especially a strong running game. I'm going to take my AFC South favorite in a different direction. And thank the heavens right now that Brent Martineau is no longer listening. He's no longer on the show, because I know I'm only going to make him mad when I give him this team. But to me, it's a no-brainer, okay? And to me right now, and Jaguars fans, once again, let's take the emotion out of it real quick, okay? I don't want to see all the hate messages and all the hate phone calls. I mean, if you want to hate phone call me, so be it. We can go ahead and hash it out. That phone number is *690, or else, Kuz, what's the real number? Because I don't know it, and I've worked on the show for about 2 years now. Still don't know it.
904-362-9901.
And that's why they're paying you the big bucks. I'm going to Tennessee Titans, okay? Now, before you turn off the radio, here's what I got to say about it. This is a crazy year of football coming up, right? The pandemic, a lot of distractions. Does he have COVID-19? Who's going to be in? Who's going to be out? Who's going to get hurt? Are these guys going to be in shape? When is it going to start? When you start throwing all these variables, okay, into this blender, and you mix it all up and you pour that drink, the only teams that can consume that blender, that smoothiness of craziness, are the teams that have everything under control, and are the teams that don't have a lot of red flags and know exactly who they are. They have the stomachs to digest this smoothie of madness right now, what we're talking about this year in football. And if you want to talk about a team that has it, well, seemingly now, all together, it's the Tennessee Titans. And the reason I say that is because when you talk about red flags right now, what are the red flags of the Tennessee Titans? Okay, because they have Derrick Henry coming back, and one would assume Derrick Henry, you saw him running hills on Instagram. The guy is going to come in shape. He always does, and he's coming off a monumental year. Oh, and by the way, this year he's playing for some more money. So let's go ahead and just assume that we're going to see the best version of Derrick Henry. That's not a red flag. A.J. Brown. Could have been, it was in the running for Rookie of the Year. A bona fide wide receiver, which we haven't really seen in Tennessee since, Kevin Dyson and Derek Mason. Now all of a sudden you have A.J. Brown, who can play from the slot, can play on the outside. It seems like they found that that one receiver in A.J. Brown. So I think he's going to have a big year going forward. And I get what you're going to say. Well, what about the quarterback? What about the quarterback, Ryan Tannehill? I've been very adamant on how I feel about Ryan Tannehill, okay? I think when he was in Miami, he didn't have the pieces needed to succeed. He had one good year in Miami. Go back and check the numbers. But listen, the guy led his team to a lot of game-winning drives last year. Don't just tell me that, it was all Derrick Henry, In case you forgot what happened last year with the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry didn't really take off until Ryan Tannehill came in, all right? So it's almost like they're it's almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Is Derrick Henry better with Ryan Tannehill? Is Ryan Tannehill the reason why Derrick Henry? So whatever. The point is the fact that when they're both in the game at the same time, good things happen on offense. And you talk about a Tennessee Titans offense for the past decade, it seems like that's always kind of been one-dimensional, running the ball, pound the rock, play good defense. Well, now you have A.J. Brown, all right? You have Jonnu Smith at tight end, who seems to be promising. And you have, obviously, a great offensive line and a solid defense. That defense has always been there. So when you look at the red flags right now in the AFC South, listen, I can go right now to the Houston Texans and say, well, how is Deshaun Watson going to deal with not having Hopkins there anymore? How is that running game going to work with David Johnson, who's had some injuries? is Bill O'Brien just trying to tank the entire season for some, I don't know, weird way? I don't know. There's so many question marks right now in terms of the Houston Texans. Can J.J. Watt pull on another year? He's getting up there in age. They lost Clowney. How do you replace him? There's a lot of question marks right now on the Houston Texans. So I don't like them at all. Now, Brent Martineau said that he predicts the Houston Texans, I think, will finish fourth, actually, and the Jaguars third. I'm not going to go that crazy with it, but I just think right now, with everything going on, you have to rely on identity, and you have to rely on coaching, and you have to rely on with what's got you there in the past. And I think right now that's the perfect combination for the Tennessee Titans to kind of finish where they left off last year. Not to say Phillip Rivers is going to be the difference maker in Indianapolis, but I come from the school where I'm going to believe it when I see it. So we'll see what's up. I got the Tennessee Titans winning the AFC South this year.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs and make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
There's a lot going on in your life these days. You can take care of a lot of it, but if you have some tax issues, let J. David Tax Law help you out. They are the experts, and they will take care of you. Amidst the coronavirus, the IRS and Florida tax agencies are back to work aggressively collecting on outstanding tax debts. The federal government and the state of Florida need tax revenue now more than ever. The stimulus packages and relief programs that helped so many Americans need to be funded. To get the best tax debt settlement possible, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop tax collection action is a no-cost phone consultation that can be done from the safety of your home. J. David Tax Law has systems in place to resolve your tax problems, and you don't have to come into their office if you don't want to. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777. Peace of mind, only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Don't miss Lowe's Just for Pros event, going on now. Check out Simpson Strong Tie, new at Lowe's. Also get big savings on other brands you trust, like Metabo HPT. Powerful brands, new services, and pro-grade deals, all at Lowe's Just for Pros event, now through July 24th. See why we're the new home for pros. Get your choice of a Metabo HPT 18-volt brushless cordless impact driver kit or hammer drill kit for $159, was $239. Kit includes 2 batteries. Valid through 7/24, selection varies by location.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best networks, same as the big carriers, for up to 50% less. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
He says he's tested positive for COVID-19. Rockets point guard Russell Westbrook tweeted he's currently feeling well, quarantined, and looking forward to rejoining his teammates once he's cleared. He also cautioned people to take the virus seriously and to mask up. After 87 years, the Washington football team making big changes. The organization will officially retire the Redskins nickname and logo following recent pressure from sponsors and decades of criticism that they're offensive. Expect the new name and logo soon, explains the Undefeated's Jason Reed.
Before Washington's NFL franchise goes to training camp, this issue will be resolved. Because Roger doesn't want this lingering. He doesn't want this being another talking point with everything else going on. This COVID situation is going to take up a lot of space, rightfully so. So the league doesn't want this naming situation to carry on.
Jason Reed on Golick and Wingo. The reference to Roger, of course, is NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. The Patriot League has canceled fall sports because of the coronavirus crisis.
It ain't game day, but you can still feast like it is. Meet Church's new $5 Campfire Smokehouse Chicken, our fan favorite with a new campfire flavor, plus mashed potatoes and a biscuit. Church's, bringing that down-home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
They're going to have a hard time having everybody come to camp on July 28th. Like, I've spoken to some players and coaches, and ordinarily there's a lot more conversation, a lot more gearing up about the start of camp, notices from teams, directions, instructions, hey, we're going to be showing up here, and there hasn't been that. And there are still a lot of financial issues that need to be addressed that have not been so far, and I think there's a lot of work there to be done to think realistically and practically that they're going to be able to solve this by, I don't know, in the next week or so. I don't see it happening. I think that they've got too much work to get done and through, and there are too many uncertainties and too many major issues to think that everything's just going to go off without a hitch.
That's parade ruiner Adam Schefter saying he expects there to be a delay in the upcoming NFL season. And listen, I've been pretty adamant about where I stand on whether I think it's going to start on time or if there's going to be a season anymore. In case you're listening for the very first time, let me repeat myself one more time here. I think that either they have to assume that if the player has it, they have to change what that means, or for some miraculous reason there's a cure or a vaccine that's created. I think we're going to have a hard time starting football up on time. And it's as simple as that, right? Because you can't have guys like in LSU having 20-something players come down and have COVID-19 and then be quarantined for 2 weeks, all right? You can't have Kansas State shutting down the whole thing, for off-season training because so many guys got sick. Now, don't get me wrong. If you look at Michigan State right now, I believe 75 players tested, and guess what? None of them had COVID-19. They all tested back negative. So there is positive news out there as well. But I'm just saying, I mean, to sit here and think, well, if one player gets it, that's fine, great. 2 players get it, that's fine. But it's an NFL locker room or it's a college football locker room, okay? There's a lot of guys in that locker room. And anytime you're on a football field, you're going to sweat on each other. You're going to hit each other. It's impossible to practice social distancing and to abide by all those rules in the game of football. It just is. Yeah, you can put these protocols in place and cross your fingers and hope it works. But I'm just saying, it is impossible. So once again, I've been pretty adamant about it. We'll see what happens. But until that time, I'm going to keep talking football because I'm also going to remain optimistic. And at the end of the day, I can sit here and give my opinions, but then guess what? Some new information is going to come out like 2 days later, and then I got to change my tune again. So I'm going to remain a little quiet on the Western Front here, if you will, but that's just kind of my 2 cents worth. The Jacksonville Jaguars offense, okay? ESPN, and I want to get his name right, Bill Barnwell here, took it upon himself like he does every single year to rank the offensive weapons for each NFL team in 2020 from best to worst. A little bit of the criteria in this rankings by Bill Barnwell here. He said that wide receivers matter more than tight ends. Okay, I guess whatever. Contract value doesn't matter. Not everyone who was considered gets mentioned as far as the players are concerned. top-level talent is worth more than depth, obviously. And the quarterback. See, here's the thing about this whole list here, and I'm going to say it in a second here. I don't get the fact that I don't think the quarterback comes into play when we're talking about best offensive weapons or, ranking the offensive weapons per each team. But then in each team breakdown, he mentions, well, so-and-so is throwing him the ball. So-and-so is throwing the ball. So in my opinion, the quarterback is important to offensive weapons, right? Because as the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, you still had Juju Smith-Schuster, but if you had Mason Rudolph throwing him the ball, it didn't really matter now, did it? So I'm not sure how much of the quarterbacks came into play in this ranking system. He doesn't really mention it. I assume a little bit because he mentions the quarterbacks every single time. But let's get in the list real quick here, okay? Top team right now we got coming in, and it should be no surprise to anybody, but we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Say no more. I mean, what more do you want? You got the best quarterback arguably in the league. You got Tyreek Hill. You got Travis Kelce. You got Sammy Watkins, the Jaguars killer from last year. Mecole Hardman, Damian Williams. I mean, they're loaded, and they keep reloading. They keep bringing in younger talent, and they don't miss a beat. I mean, there was a while where they had a running back by the name of Kareem Hunt, who's now in Cleveland. Kareem Hunt was like the top 3 running backs in fantasy in all NFL. And all of a sudden, he had his the incident where he kicked a female essentially on camera, did his time for that or whatever, but the Chiefs let him go, and everyone's like, "Oh, Kareem Hunt, no." Like, now what are the Chiefs gonna do? Have the Chiefs even missed a beat since releasing Kareem Hunt? They absolutely have not, because to me, the Chiefs are like the New England Patriots of offense, where it doesn't matter who you take out. It doesn't matter if Tyreek Hill's, banged up for a couple games. It doesn't even matter if Patrick Mahomes goes down for a couple games. Bring in Matt Moore. Where's that guy been? Doesn't really matter. When you have that much firepower and you got Andy Reid calling the shots, you're going to be okay. Number 2 real quick, and then we'll get to the Jaguars. Number 2, a little surprising to a lot of people, I would say. Not surprising to me. And actually brings the biggest smile to my face, because one of the biggest bets that we have going on this year on ESPN 690 is the bet between Brent Martineau and myself, where we're going to I predicted that Baker Mayfield will have better quarterback numbers than Ben Roethlisberger. Well, check this out. Cleveland Browns coming in right now at number 2 in the offensive weapon rankings this year in the NFL. And listen, you got Austin Hooper, the highest paid tight end. You still have David Njoku, so you got 2 pretty much bona fide tight ends. You have one of the best running backs in Nick Chubb. You got Kareem Hunt, who I just mentioned from the Kansas City Chiefs, catching balls out of the backfield, kind of that third down threat. And keep in mind, last year, too, Cleveland ran a lot of 2 running back sets, almost like an old school wing T, where they'll line up Kareem Hunt like in the slot or in the backfield. But anytime you got 2 game-wrecking running backs on the field at the very same time, it can work wonders for your team. And they still got Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. So the Cleveland Browns coming at number 2. Hey, Baker Mayfield, win me some money. No excuses this year. Get the job done, please. By the way, Brent's team, who he needs to do well with Ben Roethlisberger, coming at number 13. Let's get to the Jacksonville Jaguars, though. And I got to scroll up a little bit, unfortunately, on the list. It was pretty expected, let's be honest here. But coming in at number 31, second to last, bringing up the rear, are your Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, keep in mind, back in 2019, they were ranked 32. So a little bit of an upgrade this year as they're ranked 31. Oh, man, how do I feel about it? Okay. Listen, I understand right now in terms of their offense, there is question marks. Can Gardner Minshew get the job done? Question mark. I think DJ Chark is as solid as they come. Was he just a flash in the pan, or is he the real deal going forward? I think the guy's the real deal going forward, okay? A young wideout, kind of got thrust into the role a little bit. Everyone was talking about D.D. Westbrook last year. Well, all of a sudden, here comes DJ Chark. And there was some times during the season last year where he was almost like unguardable. So with that being said, you add the confidence now, you add the expectations to this year's DJ Chark in a new offense with Jay Gruden that spreads the ball around, that makes, their top wide receivers get the ball. I can see Chark even having a bigger year than they did last year. I can see him in the slot. I can see him being a mismatch for a lot of corners out there. So I love DJ Chark going forward. Now that they talk about, you know what, let's go ahead and just read what Bill Barnwell had to say real quick here. So like Washington, obviously Washington ranked number 32, the Jags have a quietly impressive young wideout in DJ Chark. Agree. A hybrid draft pick they're excited to integrate into their offense in Laviska Shenault. Agree. And then not much else. While Chris Conley averaged 16.5 yards per reception last year, he also dropped 6 of his 89 targets. I wish they would give him more time. I wish they would give him more time to Keelan Cole, who impressed as a rookie and has seen his playing time drop with each passing year. Also, with each passing year, the D.D. Westbrook breakout doesn't appear to be arriving. Tight end Josh Oliver, a third-round pick in 2019, is a theoretical breakout candidate given his athleticism, but injuries limited him to 117 snaps as a rookie, and the Jaguars used some limited cap space to sign Tyler Eifert, who is an injury concern as well. I'm confused by Jacksonville's plan at running back, where it's been all offseason trying to foist off Leonard Fournette on any team that would take the former 4th overall pick, yet didn't bring anybody to push or replace the 25-year-old. So on and so on and so on. Add Chris Thompson, Rock Armstead as the backup, and there you have it. Okay, so let's go through what Bill Barnwell said real quick. I agree on DJ Chark. Mwah, chef's kiss. Hit it on the head. I think he's going to be a breakout star for years to come, and I think it's a guy going forward that's going to be a pillar, not only for that receiving core, but also just the team in general in your Jacksonville Jaguars. I love Laviska Shenault, okay? And you talk about an offensive coordinator in John Gruden, who was one of the first guys to implement the Wildcat formation. I'm sorry, I might have said John, I meant Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden, when he was in Cincinnati, was the guy that was like, you know what? I see what we have here, and I'm going to adapt it to what we have. Some offensive coordinators out there, they have the ego where it's like, we have to do things my way. It's always worked. And you know what? You're a dinosaur. You get left behind. Jay Gruden is not that guy. He evolves around his offense to what he has at weapons. Keep in mind, when he was in Washington, from a wide receiver perspective, there wasn't a lot to work with sometimes, but he still had some pretty good success. Obviously, Jordan Reed playing tight end helped out a lot as well. The part that I don't agree with here with Bill Barnwell talking about Keelan Cole not getting his reps over Chris Conley. Listen, I understand right now, maybe the Jaguars aren't the hottest ticket to watch in terms of viewership, but if you watched any game last year, you saw that Chris Conley was taken out in the red zone and replaced with Keelan Cole. They almost forced Keelan Cole to try to go out there and get touchdowns. Meanwhile, you had Chris Conley, who is the combine vertical jump record holder, jumped, 45, 47, whatever it was, jumped out of the gym, as they say. You have Chris Conley, that type of guy, who's on the sidelines in red zone opportunities. And I raised it on the show last year. I called out John DeFilippo about it last year, and it was just the fact that, hey, he didn't fit in the package. That's not what we had him in. And Chris Conley would be the first one to tell you. He was frustrated when the Jaguars got to the red zone, and he wasn't in. How you can't put a guy with that much experience, with that type of vertical leap, to just say, hey, you got one-on-one coverage, I'm going to throw it up there and go get it? I have no idea. So I don't think Keelan Cole has been the guy that hasn't really got his just due. I think Keelan Cole has had opportunities, okay? I just think right now going forward, I think they like Chris Conley. I think Chris Conley is kind of that veteran presence. Obviously, I mean, we saw him lead the whole protest here in Jacksonville, and then that's another thing set aside, but it goes to show you what his teammates think about him, right? Where he's kind of the spoken leader sometimes of that locker room. So I expect Chris Conley to get the reps. I expect Chris Conley to be a big part of that Jaguars offense going forward. Now we talk about the red flags, though. And once again, I agree with Bill Barnwell here. You talk about D.D. Westbrook. I think Brent and I were on the same page last year. I think a lot of, even NFL beat writers were on the same page last year, where we thought D.D. Westbrook, it was going to be the breakout season that we've been waiting for, because we've seen the flashes, okay? We've seen the hints of optimism where it's going to be like, there it is. That's the D.D. Westbrook that we're expecting. This is going to be the breakout D.D. Westbrook now, and he's going to put the team on his back and have a Pro Bowl year. But for whatever reason, just the consistency, not getting the ball enough, whatever it is, Westbrook hasn't been that guy yet. But I'm going to say this, though. And I just hyped up that Jay Gruden offense a lot. But in terms of game calling, in terms of matchups, yes, DJ Chark is the one receiver going forward. I think anybody would agree with that. But game scripts are different in terms of Jay Gruden. Like, yes, DJ Chark's going to get his ball without a doubt. But depending on who you're playing against, depending on who's covering D.D. Westbrook, I could see D.D. Westbrook getting a lot of the lion's share as well. Now, what he does with that, that's up to him. But I think D.D. Westbrook will at least get the opportunities to shine. And whether he wants to or not, that'll be on him. But I think Gruden's going to give him, enough of the share where it's going to be like, well, if Westbrook doesn't work out this year, then maybe he's not going to work out at all in Jacksonville. So that's obviously a red flag going forward for those offensive weapons. And then you have a guy like Josh Oliver, who people seem to forget about all of a sudden because, well, he didn't really play that much last year. Like was reported, only 117 snaps. And to be fair, I thought it was more like 20 snaps because we didn't really see Josh Oliver a lot. The thing with Josh Oliver is coming out, of the combine and all the draft stuff that you read about Josh Oliver is like, yes, he had to improve a little bit on his run blocking. But let's be honest right now. I don't care how good of a run blocker Josh Oliver is. I don't think anybody in this city really cares how good of a run blocker Josh Oliver is because he was brought in Jacksonville for one reason, and that was to be that big red zone target, and that was to be the threat down the middle, okay? He's had 1 year under his belt now. Yes, there's a lot of injuries around that, but he's at least seen the film. He's seen what he has to improve on, and you would knock on wood and hope that he can stay healthy this up-and-coming year. If he can, who knows what's going to happen with Josh Oliver, all right? But I'm not going to write Josh Oliver out just yet. He was taken in the third round for a reason. So let's go ahead and give that guy a chance. Let's go ahead and see how he looks in training camp. Let's watch him during those 2 preseason games, and then let's evaluate him from here. But to say right now is like, oh, the Jaguars tight ends. Listen, we don't know what we got yet. Just like at quarterback, we don't know if Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy for the next decade or so. Just like we don't know if Josh Oliver is going to be a bona fide tight end or so yet. Let's give him some time. Let's find out. And the other red flag that Barnwell mentioned, obviously, Tyler Eifert. Okay? Tyler Eifert, when he's healthy, has experience with Gruden in the past, but that's the big question is, can he stay healthy? That might be the biggest red flag of all of them right now. Obviously came to Jacksonville on a very low-key, low-term type of deal. Not mad at that whatsoever. Obviously being a leader in that locker room for guys like Josh Oliver, for guys like James O'Shaughnessy, that'll be big going forward as well. But the biggest thing is that Gruden loves to use his tight ends, especially in the red zone. Go ahead and ask Vernon Davis, go ahead and ask Jordan Reed how that works out for you. And I think if Tyler Eifert can stay healthy, then I think that boosts up the Jacksonville Jaguars ranking in terms of where they fall on offensive weapons, okay? I think it comes down to Eifert and it comes down to Oliver. Once again, we always talk about how important the tight end position is. It's going to be important for the Jacksonville Jaguars going forward this year. And let's finish it up with the running backs real quick. Leonard Fournette. I've been very adamant about this. I don't know why you tried to trade Leonard Fournette off your team. Now, is he going to be here next year? Probably not. But the guy, keep in mind, is fighting for a career right now. All right, this is a big year for Leonard Fournette because this year is the year where it's like, you know what? I got a lot left in the tank, and the next team that's going to bring me on, you better pay me. So in terms of preparation, in terms of what you get out of Leonard Fournette this year, it could be the most that you've ever gotten. So why you would try to get rid of that piece, I have no idea, especially when you look behind him at a guy like Rock Armstead, and I get it. They like Rock Armstead a lot, and the guy runs with bad intentions. I understand that. But are you confident handing the ball up to Rock Armstead 20 to maybe 25 times a game, depending on who you're playing? If you're playing the Tennessee Titans and it's a physical game, is Rock Armstead going to be that cog that kind of sets the tempo a little bit? I don't know, because in my opinion, we haven't seen enough yet. I like Chris Thompson, the third down back coming in. We've been very adamant about that on the show, that they couldn't have signed him soon enough. And especially a guy who's that change of pace, who's going to make defensive coordinators plan to go against. I love Chris Thompson coming to Jacksonville, and that's a plus for the Jaguars hands down. But you got to ask yourself, if Leonard Fournette wasn't here right now, how confident are you with that backfield? And in my opinion, not too confident.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hot and humid this afternoon with temperatures rising into the mid-90s, but otherwise partly sunny with an isolated afternoon shower and thunderstorm, but try to stay cool out there. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale, July 16th to the 19th. Thinking of a new ride? Waiting for a sale? Well, if I got great news for you, because this isn't just any sale. No. This is big. It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. During the Big One sales event at Arlington, you can get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. No one does the Big One deal like that. And at Arlington Toyota right now, they're giving you no payments until 2021 on your new Toyota purchase. That's right. You make 0 payments until 2021 on your new Toyota. And with every new vehicle purchased from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. The Big One sale just keeps getting bigger, and it's happening right now at Arlington Toyota. Shop them in person safely at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Big One sale for full details.
Wondering what CBD is and if it's right for you? Come in and talk with the professionals at iHeart CBD, located at 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. iHeart CBD is Jacksonville's premier CBD state. Hemp-derived, certified organic, and tested in-house and through a third party. Products include pain creams and hemp flower. No medical card required. Join the many Jacksonville residents who are finding major relief with iHeart CBD. 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. Or call 904-619-9274.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bring a little spice into your sex life. Adam and Eve Adult Store. It's the trusted name in adult entertainment. Secure private shopping experience at AdamEveOutlet.com. That's AdamEveOutlet.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
It happens to all of us. That AC unit just starts making some noise, or even worse, it's not working anymore. This is the time of year you don't want that to happen. It's way too hot around here. My friends at Bold City Heating and Air will help. They helped us. It started with a call from my wife, and she said the AC wasn't working. So we jumped on BoldCityAC.com, and before we knew it, they were at the door. Super friendly customer service, clean, timely, and personal service call. And now we're loyal to Bold City Heating and Air. They took care of my family. They'll take care of your family. It's a big investment in AC unit, but a necessary one. Mirrors at Bold City Heating and Air has built a strong culture, and as a customer, you can feel it. We felt it. The easiest way to start the relationship with an AC company you can trust is to go to BoldCityAC.com. Have Bold City Heating and Air check out your AC. Right now, it's $25 off and annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it's working efficiently. Good peace of mind at the very least. Visit BoldCityAC.com. Be bold and beat the heat at BoldCityAC.com.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep. That means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah. Still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah. Let's see. How many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Let's just hope the big blue operator monitoring this house just started binge watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the big blue alarm.
Just following the Crooks R Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Deep into the summer months in Northeast Florida, hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water, more clean water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, they remove up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier softener. Kinetico Premier softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. Schedule your free water test today. Get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is taking extra precautions with in-home visits following CDC guidelines, including no contact sales and service appointments, with all employees wearing masks and gloves at all times, and employee temperature checks every morning before they send out their team into your home. Remember, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
The economic difficulties caused by the current pandemic is affecting the survival of local small businesses. Many have had to close or greatly reduce operations. How well prepared are you to gear back up once conditions begin to improve? Will there be enough working capital to do so? Take advantage of this time to participate in a SCORE webinar or meet virtually with a counselor to get some ideas on developing a business recovery strategy. Register for a webinar or schedule a confidential mentoring session at jacksonville.score.org.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt continues on ESPN 690. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Care-A-Thon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Let me tell you something else, just getting off the phone with some other people around the league. What I'm being told is that the expectation is that before training camp, before Washington's NFL franchise goes to training camp, this issue will be resolved. Multiple sources have told me that this morning, because Roger doesn't want this lingering. He doesn't want this being another talking point with everything else going on. As you guys know, as you guys were just talking about, this COVID situation is going to take up a lot of space, rightfully so. So the league doesn't want this naming situation to carry on.
Who was that there, Coos?
Jason Reed from the Undefeated.
Jason Reed from the Undefeated. Sounds like a platform where you have to pay for a monthly subscription, huh?
Kind of, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it offers great insight. And listen, well, before we get into that, let me ask you a question, Coos. Is there anything more gangster than eating your lunch in the studio with an ice cream scoop?
You know, I noticed that again.
Yeah. Oh, it's happened on, it's pretty much every other day now for me.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and set the scene real quick for the folks listening at home here. So every single day, obviously, as you've probably seen, I eat lunch. I have a pretty strict diet, which I have to follow because I'm still trying to be a UFC fighter, still chasing that dream and everything. So it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And one of those effort things has to be eating a well-balanced meal at the same time every single day. So I bring it from home. It's meal prepped, ready to roll. However, I always seem to forget to bring a fork, unfortunately. And that can be very detrimental. Now, for a while in our studio, like in our building, community kitchen, I guess you would call it, there was plastic utensils. Sometimes there's just like a fork hanging out. Someone must have forgot it. I would steal that and just wash it off, and that would be my fork from now on. So, like, I may do with that all the time. Well, all of a sudden the plastic utensils started, disappearing. All of a sudden people stopped leaving their forks behind. And when that happens, I'm left to my own devices. And the only thing I can really eat from that kitchen is with an ice cream scoop. So I bring an ice cream scoop into the studio and I eat my lunch like that.
It's definitely a step up from the chopsticks, which are essentially the coffee stirring straws.
Yeah, now, when the ice cream scoop was gone, not sure who's having ice cream every single day here in the studio, but when the ice cream scoop was gone, then yes, I would take stir sticks for coffee, and I would make them into chopsticks. Not ideal. They would obviously break.
Well, it looks like you had rice
sausage fingers
today, too, so that probably wouldn't have worked very well with, like, the chopsticks.
Absolutely. And the best part about this whole story is, and I can't wait till the day it happens. So if you've been following along for the show for a while now, I had Chipotle. This is probably like 4 or 5 months ago. Had Chipotle, spilt it all over the floor. The cleaning lady yelled at me. I felt horrible. I apologized a million times. I cleaned it up. Well, now she makes me eat in Kuz's spot of the studio. Fine. That's not a problem. So I eat standing up because there's not a chair for me to sit down because Kuz uses it. It is what it is. But with that being said, where I put my food is on top of, essentially, it's like a speaker, right, Kuz? So I eat over the speaker.
It's how I can hear you right now without headphones on.
Exactly. It's pretty important to the show.
Definitely important.
Well, like most speakers, there's vents and there's things to help cool it down. I have dropped so many just particles of shrimp and chicken and rice and broccoli through those holes in that speaker. Well, I'm just waiting for it to one day to overheat, and we're going to put the whole studio, and that being said, the whole show in jeopardy.
Nick is probably, like, so upset right now if he's listening.
Can't believe I just admitted that on live radio. I'm an idiot. Kuz, next time that happens, go and please just tell me not to say anything. Didn't think about our boss listening into it. I'm sure he's going to send me a text message. I'm an idiot. Forget I even said anything. But speaking of saying some stuff, we got some good feedback here on some of our platforms. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Not a Mixer anymore because we wanted more money than they gave us, I guess. But we got Raymond James chiming in. Austin, good segment. Thank you for breaking down the roster of the Jags. My biggest concern with the roster will be both offensive line and defensive line. I think the front office has too much confidence in the offensive line and not really upgrading pushing starters, especially left tackle, left guard, and right guard. And then he also goes on to say, what kind of defense will they be playing? Will their 3-4 defense, if they run it, actually stop against the run? All right, so let's break down a couple of those questions real quick. I agree with you in terms of their offensive line. Okay, there are some question marks right now on the offensive line. I think from a talent standpoint, I think on paper the Jaguars are fine. Go ahead and give me Andrew Norwell. Go ahead and give me Juwan Taylor. Go ahead and give me A.J. Cann. Go ahead and give me a healthy Cam Robinson. Go ahead and give me Linder. That's great and everything. But the question still remains, can they play together? Can they be a cohesive unit? If it's going to be a 4th and 1 and the game on the line, how confident are you in that they can convert that first down? Because I'll tell you what, last year, wasn't confident at all. Doug Marrone is an offensive line guy, okay? He knows the position in and out. Can he get the most this year from his O-line? Because it shows you in the draft, all right? They take a flyer on Ben Barch, D3 prospect, playing guard this year. it was kind of a luxury pick, as Brent Martineau would say, but it was a pick that obviously you don't expect to come in and make a difference right away. Now, maybe 2 to 3 years down the line, absolutely. But you don't expect Ben Bartch to come in day one and be, that starting guard. It's just not going to happen. So what you have right now is what you had from last year. The question is can they make it a cohesive unit, and can Doug Marrone finally kind of add his little oomph to it and make sure they have a good offensive line? The other comment from Raymond James is the 3-4 defense and how can it stop the run. Raymond James, man, I want to answer the question, okay? There's nothing that would bring me more joy than to come on this show, break down the defense, tell you who's going to line up where and what it's going to look like. But let's be honest right now. In terms of communication of what kind of defense they're running, I have no idea. Okay, now I've been saying 3-4 under, but no one seems to confirm it, all right? Todd Wash says, it's going to be a lot like it was last year. Dave Caldwell says, we got Chase on, so it's going to be a 3-4 kind of look this year. Doug Marrone said the same thing. I can't get a straight answer of what kind of defense they're going to run this year, and it frustrates the heck out of me. Okay, and I may not get it in preseason. I may not even get it in like the regular season to start things off with. I have no idea. Okay, I think it's going to be a 3-4 under defense, but that's not confirmed yet. So I'm sitting here supposed to be this big analyst, and I'm with you guys right now. I have no idea what's going to happen with that defense. Now there's hearsay here, hearsay here, but I can't confirm anything. So Raymond James, man, I hate to let you down, dude, but your guess right now is how they're going to stop the run is as good as mine. Washington Redskins, Kuz. They're a team that you kind of have a little bit of a tie to, right? Because you grew up a Redskins fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Still am
a Redskins. Condolences to you.
Yeah, it's been.
but to be fair, I mean, there hasn't been much to cheer about in Jacksonville either in the past decade. So we're kind of in the same boat right now.
Well, I was, I guess, essentially joking with a buddy earlier today. I was like, this might, other than RG3's run in the playoffs, might be the most excitement around my team that I really can remember.
Absolutely.
I mean, we lost in the first round to Sean Alexander way back in the day.
Yep.
But really, those are the three. That's all I got.
That's all you got right now. And obviously, I mean, in terms of, I get it. You're in your late 20s or your early 30s? I mean, you're still a young
20s,
guy.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're still a young guy. I mean, does it bother you that they're going to change the name Redskins, or do you feel like it should be done?
To me, I was just telling you, because the team's not necessarily good, I haven't been buying, hats or a shirt or even a jersey because I don't know who's going to be on the team long term. Which, I mean, that's the thing that happens here with the, Jags. We joke about that, too.
Chase Young, man. Go ahead and get that Chase Young jersey while you can.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But, I was joking the other day is I'm excited to buy whatever the new logo is, whatever the new name is. I'm excited to buy a hat and a shirt, and I've just kind of been waiting for the news to come out so that I can go get one.
So it's funny, obviously we do a group text for the show every single day, and it kind of preps us for what we're going to talk about today. And one of the topics was Redskins finally announced that they're going to change their name. Well, I really wanted to put in the response, no duh, okay? But of course, because let's be honest here. The past 2 weeks or so, I mean, everyone's been calling for it, right? I mean, it's a story ourselves have been talking about a lot. And I think right now, if the Reds, if Washington would have came out and said, we're not going to change the name this year, but maybe in the next couple of years, we're going to take some suggestions. It doesn't work like that, okay? Especially in the landscape right now where people are holding receipts on social media. Like, if someone calls for something, you better abide, you better follow along, or there's going to be a big outcry. Now, I understand. There's going to be the traditionalists out there, more than likely probably some of the older generation that don't want to see this name get changed. And you know what? It is what it is for them. But at the end of the day, if you're a Washington fan, you better get with it because it's happening, okay? And nothing you can do or say is going to change that. I understand that there's tradition around the name and you grew up with that name and everything, but listen, sometimes tradition's got to come to an end, especially when it offends such a big group of people. So with that being said, there's been some kind of, there's been some names being thrown out there. And I'll be honest, man, Kuz, like how Jacksonville and the Jaguars, they have Duval. I mean, that's the hashtag. That's the slogan, right? Like that's so everybody knows Jacksonville. And, that's what we were chanting before the games. Like, there is pride in the phrase Duval. And if you type in hashtag DUUUVL, like that's how you can follow the Jaguar stuff, okay? Well, I would argue for Washington, it's HTTR, hail to the Redskins, right? So when you put that hashtag HTTR, I mean, that's like our Duval. That's Washington, HTTR, right? So in my opinion, you almost have to kind of keep the name. You have to keep that tradition and have it something be like, supposedly the Red Tails or the Red Hawks or the Red Wolves. And another name being thrown out there too, which is intriguing, but I don't know how to feel about it, is the Warriors. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't start with an R, I get that. But the Warriors is an interesting one because this kind of hits home for me a little bit, right? So growing up in Wisconsin, you have University of Wisconsin is big, obviously, but then also you have Marquette University, who's big in basketball. In the early 90s, the Marquette Golden Eagles, who they are now, changed their name from the Golden Eagles. They changed their name from the Warriors to the Golden Eagles. And, it's funny how much research I've done on this topic and how many people I've talked to. There's no really legit, full-fledged reason why they changed the name from Warriors to Golden Eagles. Now, there's a school of thought that says, well, they changed the name because, and when it's in Wisconsin, obviously, so there's a lot of Native American people were offended by the name Warriors. But then there's another school, I think it's more a legitimate school, there's a lot more people behind this reason, is the fact that their mascot, which was for the Warriors, had a lot of racial undertones to it, let's just say, okay? So a lot of people think they changed the term Warriors, not so much because of the name, but because of the way the mascot looked, and they wanted to get rid of all that branding, and then hence Golden Eagles was born. My point, though, is you still have the Golden State Warriors. That's probably one of the most popular brands right now in all basketball, right? And I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure if I've maybe just been naive, if I haven't done my homework enough, but I'm not sure how the Native American people feel about the Golden State Warriors. I mean, obviously their logo doesn't really revolve around anything Native American or not, but I just wonder that word, if it rubs some people the wrong way or not. I mean, from my perspective, obviously it's fine with me. I mean, I grew up, one of my favorite movies as a child was The Warriors, now that wasn't really Native American connotations. It was more like street gangs and everything in Coney Island. But so I don't know where you draw the line in that. And I get where the Redskins could be coming from too, where it's like, we don't want to copy another team. We want our brand. We want to be unique, hence the Red Tails, Red Hawks, or Red Wolves. Kuz, out of those names, and you know what, let's go ahead and put Warriors in the mix real quick. Out of Warriors, Red Tails, Red Hawks, or Red Wolves, and keep in mind, you're closer than this than anybody because you're actually a fan. What would you want to see your Washington team be named when it's all said and done?
I feel like it sounds like I'm sitting on the fence, but I'm probably...
Which we're so against here on ESPN 690.
But I'd probably be happy with any of them. I just want a name. Right now I'm in a spot where people go, what's your favorite team? And I go, I don't know their name. And they're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you're just a kid, hey, man, can someone just name me, please?
Just give me a name.
You just want something to cheer for. You want something to believe in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, it'll be intrigued to see what the logo will look like. Obviously... when you go with, a Red Hawk or a Red Wolf, okay, well then you can easily have a mascot or a logo. I can kind of already picture something. With Red Tails, I wonder what they would do, how they would do something like that. With the Warriors, same thing. I wonder. And I heard a lot of arguments against the Warriors because of the Golden State Warriors, but it's teams have done that. I mean, we got two Cardinals, we've got
but no, I get you there because I'm going to cut you off there, man. But let me ask you this: so, are you worried though if they go in the Warriors' direction? And once again, I don't know if it's offensive or not, and maybe I should do some more homework on this. But it's like I said, the whole Marquette thing back in the mid '90s, it's kind of a confusing story to me. So would you not want to see Washington go from obviously a racial connotative, which they had before, to maybe another one where it's well, now we're under fire again because we're tiptoeing the line between what we deem, racial or not.
And I know when the Warriors, because the Warriors were originally in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It was the Philadelphia Warriors, and when they moved, I know the logos and everything changed, and I think they got as far away from trying to be tied to that as possible. So I think and that could be the problem, right, with the Redskins, because there was the logo, there is the logo, and then you it almost feels like a half attempt
Yeah,
at changing. Like you changed, but you didn't fully change. So I get
tiptoeing that line.
But I think if you did go to maybe say if they did decide on the Warriors and you go with something like like Golden State, they have the bridge in their logo and like not even a that's their logo.
Yep.
So you might be able to do something like that, like have a DC tie to it and do that. But I think I'd just be okay. I just want resolve at this point. I just want to know what it is.
Yeah, dude, and I get it, man. It's got to be, it's a big decision, right? Because we're talking about a team, an NFL team, one of 32 teams are changing their name for the prolonged future.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you're going to be calling them now for the next 20 to 50 years. Like, when you're sitting on the porch, Kuz, watching stuff with your grandkids, and it's like, hey, we're cheering for, so-and-so. So I get where you're coming from, where obviously, there may be some better names than some other ones, but you just want to get it done, right? Like, you don't want to beat around the bush anymore. I guess my other question to you, and it's, obviously the question that's going around on social media and everything, the Red Tails, right? So the Red Tails in reference to the Tuskegee Airmen, they made a couple movies about it. It's a fantastic story, and their service, obviously, and what they've done. If you haven't, done any research, check them out, because it's really a great story of how they helped kind of shape our country to this day. But when we talk about the Red Tails, there's a group of people out there that think, well, now you guys are going like above and beyond, right? Because let's be honest here, the whole name change thing for Washington, it all started because, of the Black Lives Matter protests and things like that. And it just kind of branched off. To be fair, I think Native Americans have been asking to change the Washington name for a long time now.
I would say, like this round of wanting them to change the name came from that, but there has been, I feel like I thought the team was changing names like 5 different times in my life.
Exactly. And I remember even South Park made fun of it like 3 or 4 years ago, right? So it's always been a hot button issue, but unfortunately, it didn't really get the momentum because, let's be honest, I don't think it got a lot of support from non-Native American people. And as bad as that is, and I'll take responsibility, I'll take the blame. It falls on everybody. But now with the Black Lives Matter and then the protests and everything and receipts being pulled, now they're kind of having their moment in the sun to make that change.
Well, I would even say too, the first however many attempts to try to get this changed, I don't think there was potential loss in revenue tied to it as well, right? You had Nike and FedEx came out and was asking like, hey, we're going to pull out. We want you to change. Like, there was a lot of money involved.
It didn't affect the bottom dollar at the end of the day.
Right.
Exactly. And now all of a sudden, when you have these companies saying, well, Nike's taking it off the website, FedEx is like, I'm not in this, man.
I think Amazon may have said they weren't going to do it too.
So when you have these companies saying, you better do something, well, then now we finally have their attention, which, listen, attention should have been had a long time ago when there was a group of people that were offended by that word. Let's be honest, all right? And it's sad they got to sit here on a Monday and say, well, what really did it was the big companies finally backing out and saying, we're going to affect your bottom line, so you better make a change. And all of a sudden, the owner's like, well, now I got to do it. I got to make my money. It's sad that we're talking about it like that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the name's getting changed, and finally Native American voices are being heard. But my question, Kuz, so with the Red Tails, do you think it's a little bit too much? Because I don't think really necessarily like the Tuskegee Airmen have any ties to Washington per se. Like, do you think it's kind of going above and beyond a little bit, kind of like a la, the Black National Anthem now that's going to be played during the games? There's been some NFL players that have been outspoken about saying, hey, we just want to stop police brutality, all right? We didn't ask for the Black National Anthem. Now, I think it's a nice gesture, but is it, I guess, kind of overcorrecting, Kuz?
I don't think so. I kind of like the idea of having a military tie in some way. When this first was announced,
especially to the great city of Washington D.C.
That's the other, and that was one of the. I think one of the first team names I thought of was like, oh, why not go with the Capitals? Obviously there's a hockey team, but I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So I thought something like that would be cool. And then when that was obviously not an option, it was like, well, do a military tie, the soldiers. That's where the Warriors comes up, and it's like, well, so. I like the idea of having a military tie to it.
Yeah. And let's be honest here, a positive military tie.
Yeah,
see, like, I don't think it's really an overcorrection either. Now, I can get the argument where it's like, well, do they have a lot of, do the Tuskegee Airmen, were they stationed in Washington, D.C.? I don't think so. Like, so I get the argument saying, well, what tie do they have, to the city? But then I can go back and say, well, at the same time, though, it's Washington, D.C., okay? It's the nation's capital. It stands for something. And, you can go down a laundry list of other names in college, the running Rebels and the Raiders and the Cowboys and things like that. But, the Red Tails were a positive influence, and they were a great story to our country's heritage, okay? It wasn't like talking about the rebels and using the Confederate flag and all that stuff, where that's kind of getting weeded out now as well. The Red Tails, it was a positive story. And it just so happened that, the positive story, it circulates and it revolves around, the black community, and that's fine. But I agree with you, Coos. I'm not opposed to Red Tails, and I don't think it's really an overcorrection. I just think it's a cool name. I think you can do a lot of cool things with a logo. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, to be honest, as long as you have a logo that looks cool on a hat, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah,
that's literally where I'm at with it. I'm a big hat guy. You know that. If their logo looks cool on a hat, I'm gonna get it. Even if it does, I'm probably gonna get it because I'm gonna support the team. But we'll see where we go.
No, of course. But and let's be honest here too. I mean, there's always that new excitement for a new logo, right? I even remember when the LA Kings changed their logo so long ago. That was you had rappers and videos
when
rocking
the Jumbo
that
Shrimp
logo.
did it.
Jumbo Shrimp. There you go. Exactly. That's probably an even better reference.
Was less liked here than I think people felt. I don't know. People were really upset. Obviously, the Suns had they've been around for a while, so changing the logo was a big shock.
Well, and I also think talking about kids, I don't say kids, but people in your age group, right? Who you guys do rock the hats, you rock the merchandise, you're all over social media, you're taking selfies, all that good stuff. You're on the gram, as Brent Martineau would say it.
Ooh, it's TikTok now, but yes.
Oh, okay, you're on TikTok. My bad. That's how old I am. I don't have either of them. So your voice should matter. I understand. There's this 70-year-old, 80-year-old guy out there that's been to every single Redskins game, that's wearing the pig nose, and he's hardcore. I understand that. But in terms of the money, in terms of the merchandise, that starts with you guys.
Are we going to be the first team that instead of revealing a regular logo comes out with a GIF logo? A moving logo?
Why not? It sounds like you're trying to, get a new job in Washington.
Listen, if they need a social media guy.
Now we're talking. But listen, I think that the name change has been a long time coming. I'm happy to see it coming to fruition. Warriors, Red Tails, Red Hawks, Red Wolves. There are a lot of wolves in Washington, D.C.?
I don't think so.
There's red wolves?
The foxes and stuff. I'm going at it from a Pennsylvania standpoint and the animals we had there, because it's not too far.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe.
So you can see. Are there red wolves? I guess I know there's timber wolves.
I think they get bloody. They're red.
That's a good point. Oh, I like that. Can you imagine the marketing and the violence tied to football? I like that a lot. Well, hey, I think regardless of whatever they change it to, it's going to be better than the Washington Wizards. Enough said.
From First Take to your radio.
Here's the reason you gotta be worried. Do we really think that the recreational activities are going to be compromised for 3 months? Somebody's gotta say it. You in Orlando for the first month, you got to be alone. Forget 3 months. They gonna struggle with 3 weeks. Why you think they won in Vegas?
First Take, your take from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
You don't want just any old sale. You want the biggest sale with the biggest savings ever, right? Then you need to see my friends at Arlington Toyota today, because they're having the one big-time sales event. Want low payments and 0 down? Then get to Arlington now, because during the big-time sale, they have over 100 quality pre-owned cars you can buy at 0 down and $199 a month. That's no money down and $199 a month for over 100 pre-owned vehicles. How about choosing from 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs that you can buy at 0 down and just $269 a month? That's no money down and $269 a month with over 50 pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everybody approved. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy for total peace of mind. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. What are you waiting for? It's the one big-time sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at Arlington arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big-time-sale for full details.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Action News Jax, we tell a weather story that's really built just for you. Most of us have lives that take us out in the elements, for work, for play, or just getting from point A to point B. And that means you need to be ready to get through your day.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Our team of meteorologists didn't go to school just to read you temperatures. We do this so that the people that trust us know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. We're here for severe.
Wondering what CBD is and if it's right for you? Come in and talk with the professionals at iHeart CBD, located at 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. iHeart CBD is Jacksonville's premier CBD state. Hemp-derived, certified organic, and tested in-house and through a third party. Products include pain creams and hemp flower. No medical card required. Join the many Jacksonville residents who are finding major relief with iHeart CBD. 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. Or call 904-619-9274.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com. If you don't have SafeTouch monitoring, there's a good chance your system is getting monitored from someone's home. Yes, work from home has come to the security industry, but not at SafeTouch Security. At SafeTouch, that is totally unacceptable and doesn't meet UL requirements. At SafeTouch Security, our monitoring center is committed to maintaining our high standards. The only guaranteed response in the alarm industry with an incredible 8-second average. And our two-way communicator provides the very fastest response from the emergency authorities for burglary, medical, and fire. And the SafeTouch crash and smash technology detects crime before it enters the property. Our halo of protection and SafeTouch cameras report crime before it happens many times. And every SafeTouch security system is custom designed for you and comes with our exclusive SafeTouch parts and labor agreement at no charge. SafeTouch security systems have a guaranteed response and are installed by real professionals. Know you and your family are safe and protected the right way. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. State license number EF0000233.
This message is brought to you by Community First Credit Union.
Stop for a minute. Take a breath. Jacksonville is going to be just fine. For our businesses, our schools, our neighborhoods, our beaches, our lives. All of us at Community First realize that no one has all the answers to what we're facing. But after more than 80 years in Jacksonville, we do know this. Things get better when people stick together. So we'll get through this to a better, brighter future in Jacksonville.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
You can make the difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. Our 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt continues on ESPN 690. As little as $10 can make a difference. $25 can pay for disease-specific educational books for the family. $50 gets a family gas to and from treatment. $1,000 can support the Mom and Dad's Group for a year. All money donated goes straight to the Child Cancer Fund of Northeast Florida. For info on how you can donate, go to ESPN690.com or childcancerfund.org. Thanks for your donations.
He's currently feeling well, quarantined, and looking forward to rejoining his teammates when he's cleared. He also urged people to take the virus seriously, be safe, and mask up. The Washington football team, known as the Redskins no more, the franchise announced the name and logo will officially be retired, this following recent pressure from sponsors and decades of criticism that they are offensive. No altruism in the end from owner Dan Snyder. Money, the driving change, notes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
This is financials. This is what the ramifications of are when you have people that are going to pull money out of the thing that makes you a lot of money. And Daniel Snyder is responding to that. I'm not going to stand at a podium and celebrate Daniel Snyder for changing the name of the team in Washington.
ESPN's Todd Archer reports despite Wednesday's deadline to sign Dak Prescott to a long-term deal, no talks yet scheduled between the Cowboys and their QB.
Don't have time to wax your car? 303 Touchless Sealant is a quick and easier solution. Simply spray on and rinse off. It's that easy. Get ultimate protection and shine in minutes that lasts up to 6 months. Now available at O'Reilly, AutoZone, and Advance Auto Parts. Visit 303radio.com for more info.
You can make the difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. Our 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt continues on ESPN 690. As little as $10 can make a difference. $25 can pay for disease-specific educational books for the family. $50 gets a family gas to and from treatment. $1,000 can support the Mom and Dad's Group for a year. All money donated goes straight to the Child Cancer Fund of Northeast Florida. For info on how you can donate, go to ESPN690.com or childcancerfund.org. Thanks for your donations.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think it lived up to what I thought it was going to be, which is to say Masvidal taking this fight on 6 days' notice and having to cut all that much weight, 22 pounds in a matter of 5 days, was going to take a toll on him. And if you watch the first round, which I thought he won, by the way, it looked like he was kind of swinging for the fences because he knew that he would gas out as the fight went on. Usman's a really tough guy and a great wrestler, and that can make you really tired. And it seemed like post first round, second, third, and then as the fight went on, he was just spent. So there was a part of me as I was watching this thinking to myself, like, okay, this was fun, this was great, all credit to Usman, he's the champ, but man, I wish we could have seen that fight, with Masvidal getting a full training camp and not getting tired, because he's not that kind of guy. But when you consider everything he's been through over the past week, it was inevitable that at some point in that fight he would get tired.
UFC analyst on ESPN, Ariel Helwani, great friend of the show. I'm going to break down that UFC 251 card in a second. Had a couple surprises. Wasn't right with all my picks, but I'll tell you what, I was right about one thing, and that was the fight to watch. I called it. Yuri Prochazka taking on Volkan Ozdemir. I said if you watch one fight, check out those prelims on ESPN. Check your local listings. That fight did deliver, but we'll break those down in a little bit here. But we got Steven, I believe, on the phone lines here. Not sure what we're going to talk about here. Can't wait to hear him. But, Steven, what's going on, man?
Hey, not too much, Austin. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. And yourself?
Hey, besides the Abbott and Costello movie binge I did yesterday, pretty good.
Hey, you know what? There's worse ways to spend a Sunday, man. Uh-oh.
I think I found the idea for the 690 syndicate.
Hit me with it.
All right, the back of the shirt has 690 from north to south, and kind of do syndicate at the bottom, kind of like you're stamping a file, and then have you and Brent like your cardboard cutouts right there, standing to the side, and kind of like a MIB look, but with a Minshew aviator glasses on.
Steven, man, thank you for the call. That's awesome, dude. Cool. I'll be honest, man. I'm not mad at that.
You like it?
I'm not mad at that. I mean, since we're on the topic, do you want to hear my next great idea I have for the syndicate here?
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to make this work, but we have to have some kind of like game where people can call and win some prizes. But if you win a prize, not only do you get some 690 syndicate swag, but you also get a code name, right? So when you win something, I give you a code name. So that means that you're officially part of the 690 syndicate. Because let's be honest, if we're going to go all in on this, like I'm talking Mission Impossible style, we have to go all in on it. And if we go all in, we're going code names.
Do I get a code name, or do I have to, because I'm on the show?
Well, first of all, I can get a code name. You have to earn it, but it's more for our listeners. So let's stop being selfish, right?
All right, fair enough.
It's not always about you. But go ahead and call me Dragon if you want to call me Dragon. It's all good. But no, I think having code names, man, for like our diehard loyal audience members would be kind of a cool thing. Your thoughts?
I think it would be fun. The problem.
No,
hold on.
No, see, it sucks. This sucks for me because you started out positive, but I know something's coming. And what do you got? What?
The problem we'll run into is with the phone lines.
Sure.
We don't really have a way to like say who it is, like when it's like caller ID, right? So when Steven calls in, I see his name.
Correct.
When Gary calls in, I see his name.
Yeah.
But if we start having like to remember their names and then what their syndicate name is, it's going to be a problem.
All right, first of all, You've gone from like co-creator of the syndicate to like secretary because this is the problem that you're gonna bring to the table, dude. We write the names down on like there's gonna be like an official parchment of the syndicate. This is gonna be like in ink. This is gonna be logged. This is official.
I feel like it should be in blood, not ink.
Well, I know, but that's a little aggressive.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah, HR might not.
Yeah, red ink to make you happy. But my point is, there's going to be an archives of the syndicate, man. We're going to be in the deep web of ESPN 690 studios. We're going to have names written down. We're going to have people on the list. All right, so it's going to be fine. You cool with that?
Can we sign them up for an email blast, the syndicate email blast?
Once again, I don't like the ideas that you're bringing to the table. You're kind of you're kind of ruining my idea.
No, but here's the thing: is like
what?
So we start I got it. We start a Discord.
I don't. I'll be honest. I don't know what that even means. No, what does that mean? I don't know what Discord means.
Like a group chat.
Okay.
It's essentially a group chat, but it's on an app.
Okay.
You start a Discord. I believe there's a lot of Jaguar Discords.
There are. Correct.
And it's just essentially conversation. So when Brent has his ideas, instead of us doing our show prep through our text, we could do the show prep on the app where people can see it, and then they can already be chiming in on the conversation.
Well, that's what they do in the movies. I mean, there's a Discord in the movies for the syndicates, right?
I think so.
Yeah, well, then absolutely. Yeah, done. Sold. Yes. The ESPN 690 Discord for the syndicate.
Okay, well,
I like it.
I just gave myself a lot of work by bringing that up.
Well, listen, this involves all of us. I mean, it was my job to come up with ideas, and I did. I'm the idea man. Now you have to follow through with all this stuff.
All right.
So the first order of business is going to be figuring out how we hand out the nicknames and how you earn the nickname, right? Because, listen, you just can't – let's be honest, Goose. This is an exclusive club, okay? Only the select few can be part of the ESPN 690 syndicate.
This is how I think people can earn their names, and this might get us in trouble.
Here we go.
I'm just putting that out there.
Here we go.
We get ESPN 690 stickers, which I think we have downstairs. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know we have magnets, but we need stickers for this.
We have stickers. Tag them around town.
Yeah. And then post photos of it.
I'm not mad at that idea. That's the first good idea you've had in about 2 years on the show. Oh, I'm not mad at that.
Because I'm just saying, like, when I go up to some food trucks, they got stickers all in the side of the food truck, and I don't see any of the radio on there. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that whatsoever. So, yeah, we hand out the stickers. They have to tag Like, I say take legally stick the sticker on something.
Something that it's allowed to be on.
Take a picture in front of it, preferably wearing a hood so you look kind of like a badass, like a member of the syndicate, wearing a hood. And then once we come across you on the interwebs, we'll invite you to the syndicate.
You have to tag our social.
Yeah.
And show us that you're ready to be it, and
then we'll invite you
give
to
you
the
the
syndicate.
Discord link, whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever that is.
And then we'll send you some merch. Coos.
Oh, man.
Did we just make history?
We also might have gotten ourselves in trouble.
Well, should we ask Brent what he thinks about it? Oh, that's right. Brent's at a baseball game right now. Sorry, his vote doesn't count. Outnumbered 2-1 regardless. Cause write that idea down. That's a winner where I come from. All right. Got it. But my co-host Brent Martineau will be back here hopefully momentarily at his son's baseball game right now. His son actually Ty is pitching today on the mound, so hopefully he's sitting him up and sitting him back down, back to back. Tommy Namsky's teased a little bit of the UFC 251. And listen, did the card deliver? I would say it did. It had a little bit of everything. You had submissions. You had a little bit of blood. You had some knockouts. You had violence. You had a broken orbital bone, I think, from Rose Namajunas. So the fight delivered. And in terms of the numbers, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. Now, to the casual MMA fan, you're asking me, Austin, is that a lot of buys? And I'm here to tell you, yeah, that's a lot of buys, and that's a lot of money. It's funny right now, right? Because like the NBA, Russell Westbrook gets COVID-19. We'll talk about that later. NFL, is it going to start on time? NHL, oh, we're getting ready. MLB, we'll see what's happening. A lot of drama. Meanwhile, Dana White and the UFC is just like, hey, hold my paychecks. Because we haven't missed a beat. Sure, it's a little weird and a little empty in the arenas and everything, and the sound doesn't come out great on TV, but they're still making their money, man. They're still filling that bottom line. So props to Dana White and the UFC. Real quick, breaking down the card, I told you guys to watch that one fight, Yura Prochazka versus Volkan Ozdemir. Prochazka knocks Ozdemir out in the second round. And keep in mind with Prochazka, his very first UFC fight, he was a UFC rookie, if you will, showed a lot of promise. Kind of had that cocky arrogance to him that you look for in a fresh up-and-coming guy. 27 years old, still plenty of time for him to do his thing. So I think Yuri Prochazka is going to be a guy to watch in the light heavyweight division. That's 205 weight class. For the pay-per-view card, Paige Van Zandt said it was going to be a big fight for her. She's really big on Instagram. She's with Dancing with the Stars. Her last fight on her deal. She had to win this fight in order to kind of, make more money in her next contract. And I said it was going to be a battle. She's a tough girl. Well, unfortunately, I was wrong about that one. She got submitted in about 2 minutes via armbar to Amanda Ribas. So, unfortunately, with Paige Van Zandt, I think she fought her last UFC fight unless she agrees to take a pay cut, which I don't see happening. What I see is a better possibility of happening with Paige Van Zandt if she still wants to fight, because she doesn't have to. She is the quote-unquote Instagram influencer, after all. She can go fight in Bellator. That's where her husband fights. So you can kind of have like the first husband and wife combo fighting in Bellator, if you will. Next fight, Rose Namajunas taking on Jessica Andrade. I said I liked Rose Namajunas coming out of this fight. The first fight went her way until she got spiked on her head, and I thought she broke her neck. Needless to say, goes to split decision. Rose Namajunas came on strong in the first couple rounds, but like the last round and a half, Jessica Andrade wasn't messing around. Mike Tyson style movement, Mike Tyson style of power. Looked like she appeared to have broke Rose's nose and also her eye socket, but she still won the fight. Props to her. Wins by split decision. Peter Yan taking on Jose Aldo. Peter Yan comes in, kind of silences the doubters a little bit. This guy was a giant hype train. Can he finally get over the hump and beat a legend in the making in Jose Aldo? He definitely does. TKO'd him in the 5th round. And keep in mind with Peter Yan, too, he's another Russian fighter, and we talk about Russian fighters being fantastic grapplers. You got Khabib, obviously, probably being one of the biggest MMA names right now in the entire sport. The crazy thing about Peter Yan is the fact that this guy, his wrestling is okay, but he actually grew up boxing. He's literally like the first guy that I've seen in the UFC from Russia that doesn't wrestle. The guy actually stays on his feet and strikes. It's insane to see, but going forward, obviously, he's going to be a star as well. He got the belt, once again, TKO in the 5th round. Co-main event, this one ticked me off, okay? This one was a robbery, in my opinion. Alexander Volkanovski retained his championship against Max Holloway via split decision. I'm going to say it like this. I know you count round by round, and I understand that. But Max Holloway knocked down Alexander Volkanovski twice, okay? And to knock down a fighter twice and to do more damage to that fighter, to me, that warrants that you probably won that fight. Now, I get it. It was a split decision. It was razor close, and sometimes they say to get the belt, you have to earn the belt. Well, I think Max Holloway earned the belt. I think it was a bad call by the judges. I think Max Holloway should be the UFC champion again. And let's be honest, it sucks for him because now he's got a long road to try to get back to where he was. And Max Holloway actually released this on Twitter today. Just want to share this with everybody. Just landed in Vegas for another quarantine and was told some guys in the media are receiving threats for saying my fight was not a robbery. This is not okay. I appreciate everyone who wants to ride for me, but that ain't it. Life isn't always fair. It's even more unfair for many, many other people in the world than it will ever be for me. People are unemployed right now with no end in sight, and it's not their fault. It is what it is. Nothing changed for me as a fighter. We proved our point. I still have my 5 belts at home. I'm 28, and I'm healthy. Blessed era continues. Bless yourself. Shaka bro emoji. So, great words from Max Holloway. Obviously, there's a lot of people that thought he should have won. I'm sure a lot of people probably lost some money, and that's why there's such an outrage and obviously of threatening, people online via the media members. Never a cool thing to do, but it was cool that Max Holloway kind of had that piece to say and puts everything in perspective, especially a gladiator like him who always brings it. All right. This comes to the portion of my breakdown where I get frustrated with the casual MMA audience. And we're talking about the main event, Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal. First of all, I had to see Brent Martineau again when the UFC pay-per-view started. You see Brent Martineau in the background. There he is. Super Bowl, Radio Row. I'm like, oh, just get this moment past already. So thankfully, that video is probably going to go to the archives now. I don't have to see Brent Martineau's mug in the background anymore of UFC promotion. With that being said, though, I did call on the show Jorge Masvidal winning, and that was more of just me trying to speak it into existence because I think it would have been good for the UFC if he would have won. We're talking about a guy on 6 days' notice, come in, win the belt. Are you kidding me? Be the welterweight champion? Who does that? Unfortunately, didn't go Jorge Masvidal's way. Here's my issue, though, with casual MMA fans out there, casual UFC fans. I saw you guys on Twitter, okay? And no, you don't get a free pass from me, so I'm calling you everybody out. There seems to be a frustration. So, for instance, let's set up real quick. I said Kamaru Usman, if he was going to win, it was going to be a grinding type of fight. Kamaru Usman is one of the best grapplers in the world. He takes it out of you. He takes you to deep waters, and he says, can you swim for 25 minutes? Well, to be fair, Jorge Masvidal didn't get a full fight camp in. Towards that third round, started to gas out. It is what it is. The human body can only handle so much abuse in terms of your heart rate. And Kamaru Usman got that out of Jorge Masvidal. No shame in Jorge Masvidal. Didn't have a lot of time to train for the fight. It was what it was. But what I can't stand is the casual MMA fan that wants to go on Twitter and say, oh, Kamaru Usman's a bad champion. That was a horrible fight. It was boring. Stupid. What a stupid. He should have stood up and threw fists the entire time. I'm not going to call the person out. Somebody called Kamaru Usman a coward because he kept trying to wrestle Jorge Masvidal. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this mixed martial arts? I could have swore it was. Hey, if there was only some sport out there where it combined boxing with kicking, I don't know, maybe call it kickboxing. If you don't like wrestling, then go watch kickboxing. Go watch M1. Go watch the old school glory stuff. I don't care. But if you got a problem with what Kamaru Usman did and it actually made you upset where you had to go on Twitter and rant about it and cry about it, then maybe the UFC is just not for you. Okay? I'm going to be honest with you. For the life of me, I understand. Was the fight the most exciting? Absolutely not. Obviously, you want to have two guys throw fists and kicks and knock each other senseless. But Kamaru Usman's a champion for a reason. It's because he's cerebral. It's because he's smart and he knows what he's good at. And he's a wrestler, okay? Kamaru Usman, that fight, do you know how much damage he took? Arguably, maybe 5%. Maybe he got hit 2 or 3 times where he felt it a little bit. But guess what? Kamaru Usman's going to be good to fight again in a month if he wanted to. And that's my point. This is the prize fighting business, okay? At the end of the day, you can talk a big game like Conor McGregor, and you can get all the viewership if you want. You can be an exciting fighter like a John Jones or a Francis Ngannou and try to knock people out, throw spinning stuff, throw flying stuff, throw these crazy kicks. You can do all of that. But my point is, if you're good at grappling and you don't take any punishment, you're going to have a long career in MMA. And that's the point. The point is not to go out there and not necessarily put on great fights. The point is to be a champion and make as much money as possible. Also keep in mind, yes, I get Kamaru Usman trying to grapple a lot and push Masvidal against the fence. But do you know where the fight stands? Do you know where the fight starts every single round in MMA? It starts in the center of the cage, and they start away from each other. So it's always the striker's advantage. Now, if the grappler takes you down and pushes you against the fence, that's on you. But it's always the striker's advantage to start out every single round because you start disengaged. What happens from there is on you. So I don't want to read these tweets saying Kamaru Usman's a coward and he's afraid and he's a horrible champion. No, he's a genius because he took minimal damage, he delivered the damage, and guess what? He's still the champion, and he's making champions money. Enough said about that. Cool, you ready to go to break here pretty soon, man?
Yeah, we can go to break.
All right, let's go to break here. Let's reset that because I got a little passionate, got a little winded here. Going to go get some hydration quick, clear my throat, come back in, ready to roll. When we get back, well, since Brent's not here right now, you'll talk a little video games?
We can talk video games.
You want to talk a little Madden ratings? See what these Jacksonville Jaguars players are ranked here and see how we feel about it?
Yeah.
And also, the 99 Club. We have four members of the 99 Club?
They said there's more, but we've only seen 4.
We've only seen 4 members right now of the 99 Club, which means obviously the highest, most prestigious rating in all of Madden. Find out what players made that rating next, and find out what some Jaguars rookies are ranked in Madden. We get back here on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hot and humid this afternoon with temperatures rising into the mid-90s, but otherwise partly sunny with an isolated afternoon shower and thunderstorm, but try to stay cool out there. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt continues on ESPN 690. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Care-A-Thon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale, July 16th to the 19th.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. At AutoZone, we're here to help you keep life moving. And we've got your battery needs covered. Whether it's in the form of a free test or just a free charge, we can help you start strong. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at just $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Based on data from the NPD Group Incorporated Car Care Track 12 months ending December 2019. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk.
Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best networks, same as the big carriers, for up to 50% less. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Thinking of a new ride? Waiting for a sale? Well, if I got great news for you, because this isn't just any sale. No. This is big. It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. During the Big One sales event at Arlington, you can get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. No one does the Big One deal like that. And at Arlington Toyota right now, they're giving you no payments until 2021 on your new Toyota purchase. That's right. You make 0 payments until 2021 on your new Toyota. And with every new vehicle purchased from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. The Big One sale just keeps getting bigger, and it's happening right now at Arlington Toyota. Shop them in person safely at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Big One sale for full details.
This is Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and it's time for the truth. In life, there are people that wait for it to happen, there are people that watch it happen, and then there are people that make it happen. And I'm going to tell you this, if it doesn't happen in your life, it was because you were watching and waiting when you should have been making it happen. This has been Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and the truth will make you free.
They say it should be impossible for bumblebees to fly because their wings are too small for their bodies. But bumblebees don't care. They just fly. Bright Expectations is dedicated to helping our Florida residents with special needs and unique abilities find the resources, support, and inspiration that they and their families need to break barriers and achieve their dreams. Visit www.brightexpectations.com to start your journey today.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence. Or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Are you about to propose? Are you getting married soon? Are you celebrating an anniversary?
You won't want to miss Beard's Diamond Summer Super Sale this Thursday through Sunday.
Unprecedented savings like never before.
All wedding bands, anniversary bands, designer engagement rings, and more.
20% off.
Prices are at their lowest. Selection is at its highest.
Beards has more engagement rings and wedding bands in stock than any other jewelry store.
And our prices won't be beat.
All wedding bands, all eternity bands, engagement rings, all fashion jewelry, all stackables are an incredible 20% off.
And an unbelievable 20% off all GIA certified loose diamonds.
So if you're getting married, celebrating a special anniversary, or getting engaged,
mark your calendars this Thursday through Sunday for the summer super sale.
Only at Beards Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Care-A-Thon presented by Duval Asphalt continues on ESPN 690. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Care-A-Thon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back here to ESPN 690. I think we're going to be joined by Brent Martineau here in the next segment. Game is over. No update of how Ty did. Seemed to be a fast game, so either that means that Ty dominated or he got shelled. I look forward to hearing that, as do the bettors in Vegas, I'm sure. Kuz, what's up?
I wonder if they only play 7 innings. I think that's a thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they don't play 9 innings.
Is that how that is? Okay, no. I don't know.
They could probably play, I don't know, 5 innings?
I don't
probably
know.
7 innings. We'll find that out in a little bit here. But yeah, Brent's in Alabama right now. Hoover, Alabama, unfortunately couldn't go to the SEC Media Days, which is a shame because it's something that I look forward to kind of hearing about every single year. It's almost like the Catalina wine mixer of college football with all the personalities. You got your Nick Sabans, and now you bring Leach into the mix, and then you bring Lane Kiffin. I mean, it'd be a great time, but unfortunately right now, given the landscape, given COVID-19, I'm sure it's going to come across as pretty different this year, and rightfully so. You know, we've kind of been teasing about it all day here, and I want to mention this one more time, before we leave the show here today. But the Care-A-Thon 2020, presented by Duval Asphalt. Listen, in terms of donating to a cause, I can't think of anything better than to help a little one out there that's battling cancer, okay? Because, I mean, listen, I'm sure if you're listening right now or you're watching us, and anybody can attest to this, I'm sure everyone's had someone that's been affected by cancer. I mean, I lost my uncle about 2 years, probably about a year ago now, and he had his battle with cancer and things like that. And it takes effect not only on the person going through it, but also the family. I mean, I went through it myself. It's a rough thing to be a part of. And then you think about a child, You know, a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old. I mean, pick your age, but just a kid. You know, who's been handed kind of a bad hand of cards, if you will. That's going through this. It's just it's impossible for me to relate, to imagine. I know I've shared the story a little bit. I used to do some stuff with the Children's Hospital here in Jacksonville. Became great friends with a girl by the name of Ellie, and it's insane because I'm looking down at the sheet that I'm supposed to read from. And I see this, I see, what I'm supposed to say and everything like that. But then at the bottom, there's the Child Cancer Fund logo, and it's basically the logo that they, for all childhood cancer. And I'll never forget, and keep in mind, this special girl by the name of Ellie, I believe she was 6 years old or 7 years old when I went to visit her the first time. And it was me, and then it was a couple of Roar cheerleaders. And I guess she just gotten done with chemotherapy. And obviously, I've never had to go through it myself, thankfully, but I know what it's about. And it's not a fun thing to be a part of, to go through chemotherapy. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Hospitals have always kind of made me feel uneasy. And for the life of me, I didn't want to see just a sick kid in bad spirits having to go through chemotherapy. I'll be honest with you, I just didn't want to see that on my plate. And lo and behold, I go to meet Ellie, and she's the most energetic, loving, caring person that you're ever going to meet. And this is someone who just literally a couple minutes ago went through chemotherapy, and it was evident. She had the IVs all strapped up and everything. Her head was shaved, but I was just taken in awe of just how much life she had in her. And just two things I'll never forget. Speaking of that logo, I brought that logo. So she gave me a pin, and she told me to wear that on my cleats before every single game, and it would bring me luck. And lo and behold, I did. So she gave me the pin. I wore that. And I would put the tape around it so I didn't violate the uniform policy. But that was my good luck charm from my days in Jacksonville up until my last game in Chicago. So I always carried that with me. And another thing I'm kind of reminded of too is before we left, we said our goodbyes and everything, and we kind of, thanked the parents for having us and all that. She wanted to just get a group hug. We said, hey guys, come around, gather around for a group hug. And obviously I'm a hugger, man. So I was all for it, but just, seeing just the passion and just the joy that she had, just wanting a hug, it's every kid's instinct just to want a hug. And for me to be able to facilitate with that with her was really special. So anyways, I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling on right now, guys, but in terms of the Care-A-Thon going on right now, you guys can donate in a couple ways. Right now, the call center, it is closed. It closes at 5, but it'll be there the whole week, right, Kuz, if I'm not mistaken? Or
well,
is it just today?
They can text and go to the website.
Okay, cool. So then if you guys want to text forever to 4144, that's texting forever to 4144. There'll be information on how to donate there. You can also visit the ESPN 690 website. You can also visit www.childcancerfund.org. And there's also an online auction going on right now at www.careathon20.givesmart.com. I want to say that one more time for everyone at home. That's www.careathon20.givesmart.com. And Kuz, as far as the auction items, some pretty cool stuff we got here, correct?
Oh, yeah, there's great stuff. I mean, from anything to just having a dinner out to obviously the stuff that stuck to me was the sports merchandise, Tiger Woods, all that stuff is on there.
So there's a lot of great items on there. And obviously, not only does this help the children that are impacted with cancer, but also helps their families as well. I mean, even $10 can go towards gas money to make sure that those parents who probably are sacrificing their jobs right now don't have to worry about gas money. So it's a pretty cool thing. I think we're joined now back with Brent Martineau here. Brent, how'd the game go, man?
It's over, baby. Got the W.
There we go. How did Ty do?
13-3 run rule. Only lasted 5 innings. I heard you guys talking. They usually will go 7, but if you're winning by 8 after 5, then they'll call the game. So got a nice win, 13-3. Yeah, Ty did okay. I thought he was the team didn't mind hitting against him today. Sometimes they can't figure him out. I thought they hit him pretty good, but he got out of some things and got the job done. So can't be perfect, 3 runs in about 4 1/3. And so Ty, by the way, that breakfast I was telling you about, we're trying to get up to maybe 65 miles an hour.
Sure.
New record today, man.
Nice.
New record at the IHOP breakfast. got 69 miles an hour with the fastball. Now, probably lived. Here's the deal now. We play the opposite game. The folks around here, all they care about is hitting 82, 84, 85 on the radar gun. We don't. We want to live around 59 or 60 miles an hour. We like to go the other way. So, but anyway, once he hit 69, I think all the scouts came over, had the radar guns out. So, and then how about this? For the last 2 outs, we bring in this big kid, good player, big, strong kid. He's a linebacker in football, too, and he looks like it, Jordan Thompson. And he can hit 86. I think he was throwing like 82, 83, 84. Can you imagine how fast that must have looked to the kids? They went from high at 62 probably on average to hitting 82, 83.
I mean, we're talking going from Nolan Ryan in his prime to bringing out Tim Wakefield, or like, was it R.A. Dickey? What was it?
Yeah,
Good. And we were talking about that, man. Like, it's insane. That's quite the contrast, to say the least, Brent.
Absolutely. So anyway, we got a good win. That's back at it tomorrow here in Hoover, and appreciate you letting me sneak away for that one. Good work, especially touting the Care-A-Thon. You guys were just talking about those silent auction items. I don't know how much you got into it, but Kuz brought up a couple of good ones, and you can check out this on ESPN690.com. Tijuana Flats Taco Fiesta, Cantina Louie for her, $50 Cantina Louie gift card for a great night out. We also have Kentucky Bourbon Group Tour. These are some of the bigger packages. How about Iceland Fire and Ice Adventure? Also Tiger Woods scorecard display, Tiger and Phil Masters flag, Kobe Bryant photo autographed, 2007 Gator Championship ball and Gator Championship basketball from 2006. So there's a bunch of stuff. You know, back to the Iceland thing. Chris Reimer, remember Chris from the PGA Tour? I think he went with his family to Iceland, and he said he went like between Christmas week and New Year's Eve, if I remember correctly. He said it was unbelievable to go to Iceland. I was like, wow, I never really thought about it. But ever since he said that, I kind of like want to go.
Yeah, so one of my best friends actually took a vacation there with his wife and absolutely loved it. And this is coming from a guy who's allergic to seafood, and that's all they eat there. Regardless of that, said it was one of the best times he's ever had. So, yeah, Iceland's the place to be, so I've heard.
Oh, good. I'd like to do it. And he said that time is really cool. And I guess, like, this is going to be really bad, okay, because I don't know off the top of my head, like, what he was talking about. But I guess they have, like, these, you can almost, like, stay in these places that are, like, right on the ice.
Okay.
Like, I mean, they're not igloos, okay? But it's like the idea of an igloo, like a hut igloo, okay? I don't know what they're called. I can't remember. But he made it sound like so fun. It was really cool. He also said this. He's like, you think fireworks are big around July 4th or New Year's Eve here? He said every person there does fireworks. He said it's unbelievable. He's like, there's just explosions all night long everywhere.
Sounds like my place to be then. I love it.
So anyway, it got me kind of excited about maybe someday going to Iceland. I just would never put that on my radar. But anyway, there's a trip that you can go to Iceland, ESPN690.com for more information to support the Care-A-Thon. We'll talk more about it over the next week or so, and appreciate all you've already done. We had a $250 challenge earlier with ESPN 690. We're making a donation. You don't have to donate $250. You'd love for you to do so, or even more. But just any donation, join the cause, join us in helping the cause, and make a donation. And that once again, you can text 41444 and the word forever. That's probably the easiest way to do it. 41444. Hey, I wanted to ask you something. I don't know how far you got. I was listening to some of the show, so I don't want to piggyback on some things you might already talked about. But I put out there earlier today, it was 5 years ago today, I went to the Home Run Derby in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Frazier won it, Todd Frazier. And at the time, he played for Cincinnati. So it was a home win for him. I tell you, Austin, we were going to the All-Star game, and I was really fired up about it because we were going with Steph's dad, who's a huge Reds fan, and the game was obviously at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
Yep.
And he, I think it was Pete Rose was coming back for that. Morgan, Johnny Bench, I think Tony Perez was there, I want to say too. Yeah. So a bunch of guys, right?
Sure.
For the All-Star game. So I've never spent so much money on a ticket. And we got 4 tickets, and Ty, Steph, her dad, and me were going to the All-Star game. And by the way, that was awesome too.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because he went to like all the big Red Machine games when he was younger. Like, he would drive down from Columbus, Ohio, and go to like all those games in 75, 76, and see that team play for like $5.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
and he tapes like Reds games still, and watches them back. So he's a big Reds fan, and he had tears in his eyes seeing those guys out on the field before the All-Star game. So it was really kind of a neat moment. But what we said, we're like, well, we're already here. Let's go to the Home Run Derby, too, and at least experience it. And I had no expectation. We're sitting in the left field bleachers, like, way up there. And I'm like, yeah, this is a waste of probably whatever. I'm not even a big Home Run Derby fan, like, on TV. Well, I'm telling you, it was absolutely awesome. Now, I've covered better things, so I've been to better events because I've covered them. But I've never been to a better event as a sports fan, like paying for a ticket. And I just thought the electricity in that place was so cool for a home run derby. And I'm not even sure TV does it justice, although the last few years have been pretty good too. But Frazier winning it, his home park, and the place was going bananas. It was really, really cool. So it got me thinking today, what's the best sporting event you've been to as a fan?
Yeah.
And does anything jump out at you? Have you been to some events as a fan? I would assume you've been to Lambeau as a fan, and Lambeau must be pretty cool.
Well, so as a kid, I went to Lambeau one time, and it just so happened that my mom used to work at this store called Pottery Barn. I think they have Pottery Barns here in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
as well.
they still exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she worked with a lady by the name of Lori Rugemer, who just so happened to be married to a guy by the name of Gray Rugemer, who actually I think spent some time in New York, Brent. He might have been gone when you were kind of covering the Giants or whatever. But he was the starting right guard of the Green Bay Packers. And since him and my mom, or his wife and my mom were friends, we got tickets, man. So we got the hookup Monday Night Football taking on the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans came into Lambeau and beat them by about 30 points. It was a horrible game. I felt really bad going in the locker room after to say hi to everybody because nobody wanted to talk to me. It was an embarrassing game on primetime television. Still a great experience, but that was the only game I got to go to, for Green Bay as a fan. Then obviously I got to play there years down the line when I played for the Jaguars. But the game that sticks out to me that I'll never forget came back in 2005, which would have been my senior year of high school, when I was getting recruited by the Wisconsin Badgers. And they brought me, obviously when you get recruited, you can go to the games. Well, I took one of my friends. I took my stepdad, who's a diehard Wisconsin Badgers fan, and we went Saturday night taking on the Michigan Wolverines, a guy by the name of Chad Henne at the helm for the Wolverines, on a primetime game. I think at the time Michigan was ranked number 12 in the country. Wisconsin was unranked. Bragging rights on the line. There was a lot of hype around it. And obviously when you have a night game, you have a lot of drinking because it is the state of Wisconsin and it is Madison, Wisconsin after all. Before even kickoff started and we took our seats, I had a girl in front of me throw up right all over my brand new Air Force Ones because she had too much to drink because she couldn't handle ourselves. The guy in the back of me who was the recruiting coordinator goes, "Hey, well, it looks like you're getting that full Wisconsin experience." And I go, "You better believe it. Can't wait to watch this game, sir." So there was just that much craziness going on. Wisconsin Badgers ended up winning it again. A last-second John Stocco, there's a name for you, a John Stocco QB draw for 5 yards with about 20 seconds left in the game. The Badgers win, and I just remember the scene after we're leaving the stadium and everybody just partying, man. It was like Thunderdome, and it was obviously I wasn't of drinking age, but I could kind of see what was going on. I got the gist of it, and it was one of the coolest atmospheres you're ever going to see.
Well, we got some good responses in, and it's always cool to, that's the fun part of being a fan, right? You create those memories, and hopefully the players and teams create the memories for you. But Brad says, heading up to Pittsburgh for a Jags playoff win. I think that's a popular one in Jacksonville, especially with the younger crowd. 2017 special, whether it was a playoff game against the Bills or if you went up to see the Steelers game. Carl says Game 6 of the 2009 World Series, Mariano Rivera came in the 8th, Enter Sandman playing to finish it for the Yankees in the Bronx. Not a Yankees fan, but seeing them win the World Series in New York was unreal. You know what? I'm not a Yankees fan either, but I can appreciate Yankee Stadium, the lore, and that point. You don't have to always be a fan of the team to appreciate it. You're not a Cubs fan, but if you were there in Wrigley, although they didn't win it at Wrigley, I don't believe. I think they won it in Cleveland. But you get my point. If you were there for the World Series or NLCS or any of those kind of moments, it would be absolutely memorable for sure.
Well,
let's see. We got a couple other.
It would have been memorable for me because I would have got arrested from throwing stuff on the field when the Cubs won the World Series. No, don't ever say I would have been excited for that. Absolutely not, Brent. There's no way.
I said it would be memorable. I didn't say you'd be excited
memorable.
for it.
Yeah, there we go. Good point.
Ed says, Game 4 of the 2004 Eastern Conference Finals between the Flyers and Lightning in Philly. Flyers won 3-2 to square the series at 2 apiece. Most electric atmosphere I've ever been at. Then went to a local bar and watched Philadelphia area horse Smarty Jones win the Preakness. Great day. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Ocho Fiscio, I think, taking a picture of the Pittsburgh-Jacksonville game in the playoffs, I think. Oh, no, he's taking a picture. This must not be a good one because I think this one might be at the Jags when Pittsburgh came back. I don't know what he said. Oh, no, this is 42-28. My bad. It is the playoff game. I had to dissect that picture for a little bit. He took a shot of the Jumbotron. Let's see what else I got. I got one more for you at least. Taco Liker Tim says 2015 Sugar Bowl, Ohio State, Bama in the first half. In the first college football playoff, Zeke's 85 down the heart of the South was a life-altering moment for me. He's a Buckeyes fan. Yeah, true. I'll tell you another one now. I mean, obviously, I've been to some pretty good games, and I wasn't a fan here. But that Clemson, Alabama, when Clemson won on the late touchdown over in Tampa, it was actually the day Doug Marrone and Tom Coughlin got hired. When Gus Bradley was fired, it was 2017 in January, and I was there for it, and that was one heck of a football game. Deshaun Watson and Clemson and the rest. So, and I would say a lot of people, last year we were at, and this is a great fan event, again, didn't go as a fan, but even the final game at the Oakland Coliseum for the Raiders where the Jags spoiled that day, remember?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that one as well. The only one that kind of sticks out to me as well, it's not really a big event or anything, but I remember it like it was yesterday. I think we've talked about it before, but I was in Albany, New York at a AU basketball tournament, kind of just walking around the courts a little bit. And keep in mind, it was like this 17 and U, so obviously it was basically your junior or younger. And there was this 16-year-old kid playing on the older team by the name of Jimmer Fredette. And I remember watching Jimmer Fredette thinking, I remember the hype around him, like, oh, this kid's the real deal. I remember looking at him and thinking, like, okay, someone obviously made a mistake in the program because I don't really see it because you looked at the kid and he's like, this kid? But then you watched him shoot a basketball and it was like, oh, yeah, I get it. He's probably going to be special one day. And lo and behold, especially in college, the guy was special.
I think that's such a wild story you share because it's a small world because I obviously worked in Albany and we covered Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a huge thing. He's from Glens Falls, which is 40 minutes north of Albany. And so I know exactly what you're talking about, where you're talking about. Yeah. And Jimmer was special, man.
Yeah.
And he was so special in college. I still think I'm a little surprised he didn't make it in the NBA.
For sure.
I mean, he obviously put on a show overseas, and I think he scored like 82 points last year in a game. I mean, he can flat out shoot it. It's like, to me, it's like hitting a little bit in baseball. If you can shoot it that well, how do you not have a spot in the NBA? If you couldn't feel the lick, they would find a spot for you if you can hit in Major League Baseball. They will find a spot if you can hit. Well, Jimmer was that kind of guy, but you still got to be able to play a little defense, and I think that was obviously one of his downfalls. I'm just surprised. I always said this. If you could put Jimmer Fredette on like a LeBron team and put him in the corner shooting threes while LeBron's dishing, I mean, man, oh man, that seems deadly to me.
It's just one of those things, right? Because like Kyle Korver still has an NBA career. The guy's been doing it what it seems like forever, and that's his job. Like Kyle Korver, with all due respect, doesn't play great defense, but he's that spot-up shooter that gets to the corner and gets open, hits the threes. And it's just, it's crazy, I guess, sometimes when we think about the transition from college to the pros, because you have a guy like Steph Curry, who was a great shooter in his own right, coming from a smaller school, wasn't that great at defense. Well, now look who Steph Curry is. He's like the name of basketball next to LeBron James. And you have a guy like Jimmer Fredette, who absolutely tore apart the NCAA tournament with his shot, and, couldn't make an NBA team. It's just crazy how that works out.
Hey, I got one more thing for you because we're talking about the fan stuff. And keep them coming. We can talk about it all week long on my Twitter handle when I asked that question. Home Run Derby was my favorite sporting event. I paid for a ticket to go see. What would you want to see? And it was interesting because Edward, I think it was, said the hockey. I really want to take the kids to a Tampa Bay Lightning game.
Sure.
It just looks so electric.
Absolutely.
Inside there. Anything you really want to go to? I mean, I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. That's on my bucket list. But I don't know from a fan perspective. Like, I'll be like, wow, that was electric. That was unbelievable. I think going to like a Lightning game in the playoffs might be electric.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I feel about hockey and I feel about the Detroit Red Wings, so I'd love to go to Little Caesars Arena and watch a Red Wings game. One of my biggest regrets when I played for the Lions is I never got a chance to go watch the Wings play in the old Joe Louis Arena. That's obviously a very historic venue. I never went, and I'm still kicking myself to this day because of it.
All right. Well, thanks for holding down the fort today. Happy Monday to everybody. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Don't forget Care-A-Thon. You can text the word forever to the number 41444 all week long. Be a part of it. Join in the good cause. For Austin Lane and Justin Kuzart, I'm Brent Martineau. Have a good rest of your night, everybody, and thanks for hanging with us on ESPN 690.
First Take, your take.
You see injuries happen every single week that end seasons, potentially end careers, certainly derails dudes for weeks upon weeks at a time. So if there is